Marinette Marines High School sports broadcasts are brought to you by North Honda Motorsports, Bayshore Credit Union, Riverside Auto, Tri-City Physical Therapy, Menominee County Federal Credit Union, Prestige Auto Body, Peshtigo National Bank, Dexter's, Kane Chevrolet Buick GMC, Bayside Motorsports, and PCM Credit Union.
Good evening and welcome to Marinette Marine Football. Tonight, it's the Marines against Little Chute, the Little Chute Mustangs. I'm Eric Bergstrom alongside my partner, Kit Donaldson. Kit, it's the home opener.
Exactly. Here we are at Higley Stadium, and temperature's been hovering in the low 70s for most of the day with a lot of sunshine, and going to have a clear night. The sun is setting, and right now it's kind of in our eyes, but by the time the game starts, it should be out of view, and going to be just a great night for football and kicking off the, I'm going to say fall, it's not quite fall yet, but here we are kicking off the Labor Day weekend with high school football. No better place to be.
It's the best, and we've been waiting to get home. It's been kind of a strange season so far. We had our opener on the road at Fox Valley Lutheran, and then last week we had the M&M game already. So again tonight, another special game, the home opener. So it's almost like 3 weeks in a row we've had a special game.
Yeah, and a special game and tough opponents too, to say the least. And in both games so far, the Marines have given up points into the 40s with both, as you mentioned, Fox Valley Lutheran and also with the Maroons last week. And this Little Chute team, they're 1-1. As you mentioned, their one loss, though, was to Wrightstown, who we're going to see next week, by the way. And Wrightstown is state ranked. And Little Chute also the defending state champions in Division 4. So things aren't getting any easier anytime soon.
That's the way it looks. They are the defending state champions, but there is a good point to that. And it is that they're only returning 4 starters on each side of the ball. So it is not the same team that won the state championship last year.
Oh, exactly. And that's with high school football, of course, no team is exactly the same, ever the same from year to year. They change a little bit. But like I said, with losing with only 4 guys back on each side of the ball, that's kind of an overhaul. But then again, when you're the defending state champions, then you got that tradition. And we've seen it with Menominee, with the youngsters. They want to excel to and achieve the heights that their predecessors have achieved.
Exactly right. The Mustangs, they have good balance on offense. I was doing a little research on them, and they had 424 rushing yards this year and 326 passing yards. So it doesn't look like they rely on any one aspect of their game. They can do either or.
And that means that the Marines defensively will have to be disciplined. You got to stay home. Got to read their keys, and like you said, with a balanced attack that the Mustangs have, you can't just sell out on either the run or the pass, obviously. And the key word is to stay disciplined and stay home.
That's right. Kit and I are going to take a quick break. I did have a chance to talk to Coach Andy Walters, and we'll have that a little bit later after the break on Sports Radio 570.
Looking for a credit union that truly cares about you and the community you live in? Then you ought to stop and see the folks at Bayshore Credit Union. Membership is open to anyone living or working in Marinette, Menominee, and Oconto counties. Whether it's everyday banking, a new auto loan, new mortgage, even a consolidation loan, they can help. And it's never too early to start establishing good credit. Bayshore Credit Union, located at 1514 Cleveland Avenue, Marinette. They're looking forward to meeting you.
Kim Barrett and all the staff of Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Marinette are committed to get you back to your quality of life. Tri-City Physical Therapy has been in business for 25 years and specializes in the treatment of shoulder, knee, and back, as well as general physical therapy. Let them help you overcome pain after an injury or disease. Tri-City Therapy and Sports can provide you with the most skilled and personalized rehabilitation treatment plan possible to help you get back on track. Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine at 602 Wells Street in Marinette.
Bayside Motorsports and Cycle is your full-line service destination, servicing most makes and models of ATVs and motorcycles, from a simple tune-up and oil change to major engine overhauls. Their expanded service department will have you back on your machine fast. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle also specializes in motorcycle and ATV performance work to keep you a step above your competition. Ask about their service specials. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle in Green Bay or at BaysideMotorsports.com.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium in Marinette. Kit Donaldson along with Eric Bergstrom here on Sports Radio 570. Getting closer to kickoff here with the Marinette Marines home opener against the Little Chute Mustangs. By the way, Marinette actually I should say the Mustangs won the coin toss, and Little Chute elected to defer, so Marinette will receive the football here in just a little bit. Earlier in the week, Eric had a chance to talk with the third-year coach of the Marinette Marines, Andy Walters, and let's see what the coach had to say.
Eric Bergstrom here with Marinette Marines head coach Andy Walters. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
Betcha.
It hasn't been a normal start to the season by any means, I suppose. You opened on the road, and then you had a Saturday game with a lot of hype during the game, before the game. Does it feel like now it's just a matter of getting back to work and getting into a routine?
I don't know necessarily that we felt out of routine or anything like that, but we obviously, did not have the start we were kind of looking for, and as a team, we were able to sit down and identify some things that we need to do a better job of as a coaching staff and also as players. And I think we were able to identify those things, and we've been addressing them in practice this week.
It was interesting because we had Bill Michaels in the booth with us last game, actually, and he came in right at the end of the first quarter, and he said that's the best Marinette team he'd seen in the last 3-4 years. And then he left the booth right after the end of the first quarter, and then that punt return happened, and it seemed like it took the wind out of your sails a little bit.
I think one of the big things with our football team, like we said, we have the potential to be a very good football team. One, it's getting our players to believe that and making sure that everything we do represents that, especially at practice and things like that. But also at the same time, I think one thing that's really hurting our football team right now is the amount of two-way starters that we have. We have to do a better job of making sure that we have some of our other kids. They have to do a better job of making sure that they are able to be prepared, practice the way we'd like them to make sure that they're prepared to play. So that way we can get some of those guys in the game and get some of these other guys off the field. I think right now, late in the first half or late in the second half, some of our guys are just running out of gas. Around it, I think we're definitely always going to have some two-way players, but to be able to limit number of two-way players we have will help us tremendously.
I agree, especially with this heat we've been having too. It's all the more important.
Yes, no doubt.
The first week you had the spread offense to deal with, and then last week it was the single wing. What do we have this week with Little Chute?
This week's kind of a little combination of both.
Really?
The run game is focused around a power run game out of multiple looks. They'll run power out of two back sets. They'll run power out of multiple one-back sets where they'll run it with the quarterback, do a lot of motion trading. They'll spread you out with, 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. But as far as the scheme, as what they want to do running the ball, they're a power team, no matter, what formation they're in. But they definitely have some athletes that are out on the perimeter. They got a couple of real great receivers. I think their quarterback's pretty good athletes, throwing the ball and running the ball, and the running back's definitely a pretty quick kid that can hit holes quick and make things happen at the second level.
How do you think your young offensive and defensive lines are gelling?
I thought our defensive line gets off the ball well. I think our offensive line improved from last week. We still have some wrinkles that we need to work out with at some spots. But, I think they're doing all right. Our biggest thing right now is again, the mental part of it. We had a lot of misalignments against Menominee last week, and they cost us big time. When we went back and looked at the game and looked at how they scored, they're a heck of a football team, and they got some really good players, but we didn't help ourselves out a lot either with the way we lined up. And again, I think that has to do with a lot of those mental mistakes have a lot to do with, the amount of two-way players we have and being able to process things when they're fatigued and being able to play hard in every snap and those types of things.
Definitely. From where I was sitting, I noticed a lot more inside running room, especially for Caleb Maskey against Menominee than there was the first week of the season. So I agree with you. I think they are getting better. I also noticed, Kit and I both, we noticed during the broadcast that we were calling Tyler Olson's name a lot. How do you feel he's developing?
He's one of those two-way players for us, and I think he does a great job. He's come along nicely. He's only a junior, so he's only going to get better. And, like I said, I think he's doing a nice job for us.
On a sidetrack, one last question for you, and I'll let you go. Did you play Pop Warner?
Yes, I did.
And how do you feel Marinette's youth football program is developing, and how important do you think it is to what you do at the high school level?
We don't really use it as a feeder program to teach our scheme or anything like that. The reason why we started our gridiron program was so that way we could be more hands-on as far as what's being taught to the kids, how it's being taught to the kids, you know, and being taught by people who are bleeding purple, and you know, kind of being able to allow our values and what we're about kind of trickle down to that level. Like I said, I played Pop Warner. I had a great experience playing Pop Warner. You know, we just kind of wanted to have more hands-on with our youth kids, you know, as far as being more focused to, you know, Marinette football.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for joining me, and good luck on Friday.
Hey, I appreciate it, Eric. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium. That was my interview with Marinette head coach Andy Walters. About a minute and a half before the game gets underway. We're almost ready for the national anthem. What do you think about the interview, Kit?
Well, like Coach Walters said, as far as with those two-way players, a lot of guys on the Marines going both ways. So when you do those starters here just a little bit, well, you're going to be hearing a lot of the same names when you say the offense and the defense. And you're right that as far as taking the steam out of a player, and both physically and mentally, because you got to stay in the game in both regards, both physically and mentally, and that can be tough. And you mentioned with the weather too. This time of the year, 3 games in before Labor Day.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's not fall weather by any stretch, like you said earlier today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very warm weather. We're just about underway here. We're going to have the national anthem coming up soon. And how great is this? Friday night high school football. The band is playing. Everyone's here. You had a hamburger earlier, and I know that smelled amazing.
And they lured me in.
They did
for sure. Yeah, this is what it's all about. And like I said before, just a great way to kick off the holiday weekend with some high school football. You got the Badgers tomorrow against the Crimson Tide here on Sports Radio 570. And before you know it, just about 9 days now till the Packers get rolling. So just a great time of the year, segueing from the summer months into fall.
Exactly right. And we're going to honor America right now with the playing of the national anthem.
The singing of our national anthem tonight performed by senior Hannah West.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job by that young lady. Great job.
Yeah, Hannah West. Yeah, nicely done. Not an easy song to sing.
No.
Acapella. Wow.
You got it. Today's pregame is brought to you by Visit North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet. Kane driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Ocano, and Marinette. And right now, they're introducing the starters for both teams. Little Chute is in their all-white uniforms with blue numbers and blue lettering on the helmets. Marinette has new uniforms kit. It's kind of grayish, outlined with purple, and their familiar purple helmets, of course. Purple numbers outlined in white on sort of a dark gray jersey and pants.
They look sharp, that's for sure. And here, this is an historic meeting, too. First time these two teams have, of course, met in this new conference now, in the Northeastern Conference in Wisconsin. And, of course, the Marines had 0-1 in conference play. Little Chute at 1-1. So with Marinette having the non-conference game last week.
As we're finding out early in the season, this Northeastern Conference is quite a conference. A lot of good teams in this conference as we're learning these teams.
Yeah, and some of the teams we already know, the Luxembourg Cascos and the Denmarks of the world, we'll see them late in the season. Of course, the Comet Falls in a couple of weeks. But with the teams that the Marines are not that familiar with, that would be tonight's opponent, Little Chute, of course, FBL from a couple of weeks ago, Wrightstown next week, and down the road we'll see Clintonville and also Freedom as well.
That's right, a tough conference. While they're introducing the players, I'll go through a few stats. Season stats for the Marinette Marines. They're 0-2 on the season right now, going into tonight's game. Rushing, the leader so far this season, is James Jagelski. 20 attempts, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Caleb Maskey comes in next with 14 carries for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading the way passing is Luke Johnson, the starter at quarterback. He's 10 for 23, 198 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His main target so far this year, the first target is Jonte Webb, 6 receptions, 174 yards, and 1 touchdown. And his other big weapon, Nathan Harris, 3 receptions, 70 yards, and 1 touchdown.
And by the way, Jonte Webb will be your interview at halftime. You had a chance to talk with him earlier in the week. So looking forward to hearing from another Marinette Marine player. We've been talking about Little Chute, and of course, they've been impressive so far. With they're only 1-1, but the one loss was to Wrightstown. And we talked about their numbers offensively with how they have the balanced attack. Marinette, really, when you think about them, the first 2 games, they've been in the 20s offensively. I guess the bugaboo has been the defense. That's where the problems have been for the most part. But if you're scoring in the 20s, you got a chance to win a lot of games. So I think they got to shore things up on defense, and we're going to see them on offense first of all. And it'd be nice to get out of the gate here with a nice sustained drive and get some points on the board right away.
And they've actually had very good first quarters in the first 2 games of the season. It's just sustaining it. They haven't been able to do that. So let's see if they can do that tonight.
All about that consistency.
That's what it's about, and we're just about underway. Little Chute gets ready to kick off here at Higley Stadium. And there, he puts a foot into it. Nice kick. All the way to the 10-yard line. Up the left side. Nice run all the way to the 30-yard line. Spencer Hipke for the Marines gets it all the way up to the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll start.
Yeah, Spencer was on the left side of the return team, and he kind of backed up a little bit, and James Jagelski was the deepest, but Spencer had the right call of taking that football, seeing was right to him.
And the Marinette Marines will be traveling left to right on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. Up to the line they come. Jonte Webb split out right. Nathan Paris next to him. Direct snap. Looks like Maskey maybe. We got a yard or 2. Just an inside run straight up the middle.
And just trying to go right up the gut there. And you mentioned with Coach Walters that Caleb and the Marines offense with the offensive line had a little more success getting Caleb on track against Menominee last Saturday. And hopefully that will be hopefully that trend will continue here this evening.
And Marinette up to the ball. Jonte Webb split right. Everybody else in tight in the wing T. 2nd down and 9. It's a wide receiver screen to Jonte Webb. It's behind the line. They call a fumble. Nope, they blow it, whistle dead. It was behind the line of scrimmage. He couldn't hold on. It hit the ground, and luckily for the Marines, they do call it a fumble, but they call the play dead where he picked it up.
That's a tough call. We saw something similar last week where they called it an incomplete pass against Menominee, and this time with Marinette. But you are right. It was definitely one of those passes that was behind the line of scrimmage, and not a good pass. And Jonte did all he could trying to haul it in, and unfortunately he couldn't haul it in, and then he couldn't jump on it either.
First turnover of the game. goes the Mustangs' way with 11 minutes, 12 seconds left in the first quarter. An early turnover, not what we're looking for.
And that goes down as a fumble recovery for the Mustangs. And right out of the gate here, they got a short field to work with.
Short field. Devin Plate brings his team to the line for the Mustangs. They're traveling right to left on your radio dial. Plate directing traffic. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and we have a flag already.
Seemed a little bit confused and a delay of game. You know, and here the first play from scrimmage, you have a delay of game. Usually you're ready to go with the first, at least the first play or two, and they seemed like they were very unorganized out there. And like you said, he was directing traffic, the quarterback Plate, and I'm not sure if some of his receivers were out of position or whatever, but he wasn't ready to take the snap.
Devin Plate in the backfield with Nate Bevers, his big running back. We have motion to the left, and here's the snap. They fake it to Bevers. Plate keeps it himself off to the right side. He has room, and he's tripped up after about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, on 1st and 15, he got past the original line of scrimmage, and like you said, about a 6-yard gain. And that was a run by design by Plate. He was out of the shotgun. He did fake the handoff, but he was going to keep it all the way, and he did around the right side and had pretty good running room there.
Just a read option, and
got about almost half of the yardage he needed.
Tough to cover that sometimes. 2 receivers split out, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Inside handoff to Bevers, and he's met by a horde of Marines, and they drive him back.
Yeah, maybe 1 yard on forward progress at best, but a great job by the Marines. You said a horde. That's exactly right. The whole defensive line was right there, and throwing a couple of linebackers as well. And it was gang tackling right there by the Marines at its best.
Big Devin Johnson with a big push, pushing the offensive line backwards, and it stopped the running back in his tracks. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left, first quarter,
yeah,
3rd down and 9.
The Mustangs have, of course, 4 downs to work with here in 4-down territory.
2 split receivers, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Motion to the left. Drops back to pass, the lefty fires, and he finds his man. Parker Glaudmans makes the reception. A little slant there, and he got enough yardage.
They're going to set up a 1st and goal. That you've been hearing a lot about that number 7, Glaudmans, and he can hurt you in a number of ways, and including catching the ball.
And that brings up a 1st down and 4 at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for Little Chute. 9 minutes, 42 seconds left, first quarter. 2 receivers split out, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Glaudmans in motion. They fake it to him, give it to Bevers up the middle, and he goes untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Yeah, wide open right up the gut, like you mentioned. Yeah, almost untouched there for Bevers. And Little Chute takes advantage of the Marines' miscue, the fumble on the second play from scrimmage, and just like that, the Mustangs are up 6-0 and try to make it 7.
We await the extra point. Eric Hippis gets ready to do the honors for the Mustangs. Here's the snap. Kick is up, and it's good. He's got a big leg kick. That one went sailing far into the distance.
Room to spare.
Extra point is good. That brings the score. Little Chute 7, Marinette nothing with 9 minutes, 30 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll take a break and be back on Sports Radio 570. Eric Bergstrom here with the Marinette.
Where can you go to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Dexter's. Dexter's in Menominee has enough seating for the whole team and a menu to fit everyone's taste and appetite. Or call ahead and take your order to go. Dexter's looks forward to seeing you this year. Good luck to all M&M Sports participants. Dexter's, located on 10th Avenue in Menominee. Check out their menu online at dextersrestaurantonline.com and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where Marinette trails Little Chute 7-0 with 9 minutes, 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Marinette awaits the kickoff. Hypus puts a leg into it. All the way to the 5-yard line. Jagelski with it. He goes up the left side. He has room. He goes into the middle of the field, cuts it back, and he's taken down at the 33-yard line. Nice run there.
Yeah, about 28 yards on the return up to the, as you mentioned, Eric, to the 33, and good starting position for the Marinette Marines, and down 7-0, trying to get things on track here. And for Little Chute, that actually was the best scenario for them to start the game. You win the coin toss, you defer to the second half, and then you're on defense right away. I wouldn't say really force a turnover, but you get the turnover, and there you are taking advantage of it.
The Marinette up to the line of scrimmage. Luke Johnson leading the attack. In motion is Hipke to the left, and we have flags.
Let's see, we got a legal procedure on.
False start against Marinette.
Yeah, procedure call against the Marines, so.
That's one thing they have done a good job of. They haven't had a lot of penalties this year, so we don't want to start tonight.
Penalties evened early in this game. Each team with 1 for 5 yards.
So it'll be a first down and 15 for the Marines. 9 minutes, 23 seconds left, first quarter. Wing T, Jonte Webb split left. Hipke goes in motion to the left. Jagelski right up the middle. And he's met by a host of Mustangs after a gain of 2.
Yeah, trying to get a little push up the gut, and not much doing that time.
Trying to keep him honest. Actually, he might have gotten 3. That'll bring up a second down and 12 for Marinette.
And in each of the first 2 games so far, James Jagelski has shown his big play capabilities with a long touchdown run in both games so far. And, of course, that's been to the outside. We'll see if they can get him loose at some point here in this contest.
Jonte Webb split right. In motion is Dalton Weisgerber, and he goes out by Jonte Webb. Here's the snap. Johnson rolls right. He fires it, and he hits Hipke. Nice little play there.
They got about half of the yardage, and Luke Johnson rolling to his right. Good pass as he was on the move, and brought a little extra time against that 4-man front that wasn't applying a whole lot of pressure. And good job of finding the seam of the defense right there, and a good reception by Hipke. Like I said, get about half of that, and it's a manageable third down situation here.
Third down and 7, much easier now for the Marines. 8 minutes, 3 seconds left, first quarter. Marinette up to the ball. 2 split to the left. Jonte Webb, Nathan Paris. Here's the snap. Johnson rolls left. He's under pressure. He gets rid of it, and he gets it to Webb for a first down. Nice play by Marinette. Rolled left and through left.
Almost to midfield. It's a good thing that he was rolling to his left, because he had pressure coming from the left side as the defense is looking at the offense, and Luke was running in the other direction to his left, and that really bought him some time, and he found his favorite target, big number 85, for the first down, and the first down of the night for the Marinette Marines.
A 9-yard pickup for Jonte Webb and Luke Johnson and the Marinette Marines. First down and 10 from the 47-yard line, their own 47-yard line. Marinette up to the ball. We have a direct snap. Jagelski gets it, and he goes up the middle again. And he got about a yard.
The Mustangs doing a really good job of just bottling up that inside game so far. The Marines have had about 3 runs up the middle, and only getting about maybe 2 yards, 2-3 yards at best each time.
Jagelski, he's one of those electric players. He's one of those players that make you hold your breath every time he gets the ball, especially when you see any kind of space around him.
And he surprises you because he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got some power to go with that speed. We've seen him in the first 2 games break some tackles and go for long yardage.
Second down and 9 from Marinette's own 49-yard line. In motion. Weisgerber, Johnson back under pressure, and he's hit hard and taken down. A big loss.
Near the 40-yard line, we'll see where they're going to spot it, because he was hit initially just outside the 40. Then he was just thrown down like a rag doll back there.
Ryan Jansen for the Mustangs exploded through the line and made the play.
That's about an 8-yard loss back to the 41.
3rd and 17 now for the Marines.
And first sack of the night for either team, and the Marines right here with a 3rd and long. Well, what do you do in this situation?
I don't know if there's a play in your playbook for this 3rd down and 17.
Maybe a little screen and just try to get as much as you can.
They
or look for number 85, Jonte Webb. That's always a possibility, but you got to have the time though too.
That's true. That's what I was thinking. The snap goes through the hands of Luke Johnson. The Mustangs pick it up. Another turnover for the Marines, and picking it up is Chris Peters for the Mustangs.
Yeah, picking it up and then falling on it, you didn't get very far because just picked it up and wisely went down. And once again, the Mustangs have a very short field to work with on the second turnover of this ball game already for Marinette. And really, neither one of the turnovers were forced. Just miscues by the Marines. First on a bad pass. That was actually a backwards pass. And then here the snap goes over the head of Luke Johnson.
First down and 10 for the Mustangs at the 23-yard line of Marinette.
Yeah, last time they had at the 21 and then back to the 26 after the penalty. So very short fields to work with.
Getting handed gifts right now. The Mustangs up to the line. Plate drops back. The lefty looks for somebody. He goes deep to the end zone. And we have a flag, and that was a good call. He was all over the receiver. Glaudsman had a long in into the end zone, and the cornerback was all over him. It was a good call.
Yeah, going for it. Like you said, Glaudsman, number 7, their favorite target. And, of course, in high school football, they don't mark it at the 1-yard line. That's, I guess, the only saving grace out of this.
We'll take it, right? We'll take anything right now.
The line of scrimmage was 23, so.
Little Chute leads 7-0 with 5 minutes, 41 seconds left. Half the distance.
Yeah. So it should be around the 11 or 12-yard line. Half of 23.
I think your math is correct because I see them marking it at the 11.
I guess officially we'll mark it a 12-yard penalty, so that's 2 infractions against the Marines for 17 yards in this first quarter and 2 turnovers already as well. So it's been a very ugly first quarter for the Marinette Marines so far.
First and 10 from the 11 for the Mustangs. Here's the snap. Devin Plate, the quarterback up the middle, almost untouched. He did not get touched until the goal line by Jonte Webb. Touchdown, Little Chute. An 11-yard touchdown run by quarterback Devin Plate.
Little Chute right now making it look very easy on the offensive end.
And the thing that worries you is they're having a lot of success right up the middle.
Yeah, and passing and running. Take your choice right now.
We await the extra point. Eric Hypes, he lets it go, and he lets it go right through the uprights. That brings the score to 14-0. Little Chute with the lead. We'll take a quick break and be back with more Marinette Marine football on Sports Radio 570.
Find your next truck at Kane, the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay for 2015. From the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, Kane delivers Silverado. Or the most advanced pickup ever, Kane delivers Sierra. Right now, visit Kane in Marinette or O'Connell to enter the Chevrolet Packers Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes. Win a 2016 Chevrolet and other great prizes. Over 300 quality vehicles at KaneGM.com, O'Connell and Marinette.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics as well. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium. We just had the kickoff. Dalton Weisgerber took the kick back all the way to the 27-yard line, and that's where Marinette will start their drive with 5 minutes, 29 seconds left in the first quarter.
Already about 6.5 minutes into the ball game, the Marines are already with 3 kickoff returns. That's never a good sign. It's down 14-0, and they've gotten the ball in pretty good position. And on the last drive, they had it close to midfield. Once again, turnovers rearing their ugly heads, so they got to try to get a sustained drive going right here.
First down and 10 from the 29-yard line for Marinette. Here's the snap. Luke Johnson looks for running room off the right side. He's met, and he fights for 3 yards. Good persistence there. He was met by 3 or 4 Mustangs, but he still managed to get 3 yards out of that run.
Yeah, tough run. Yeah, 3, maybe even 4, the way he got close to the 24-yard line. Yeah, nice run by Luke off the right side, calling his own number and really turning those legs. And he actually drove one of the Mustangs downfield for an additional yard or 2.
Marinette up to the line of scrimmage. Second down at 5. They gave him 5 on that. Nice run. Another bad snap. Marinette manages to corral this time, but they lost yardage.
You know, it's hard to tell from up here. You said a bad snap, but sometimes it's hard to tell. It was a little high, but I guess I don't want to place blame on anybody. But
Exactly
it's
right.
hard to tell whether the center had the snap a little bit off or if that should have been corralled. Sometimes the quarterback or whoever receiving the snap takes his eyes off the ball too early. So either way, it had to correct that.
They didn't actually lose any yardage. It's still 3rd down and 5.
And they didn't lose the ball either, which is the big thing.
The biggest thing. 3rd down and 5 from the 34-yard line for Marinette. Here's the snap. Luke Johnson rolls out. He lets it go a little bit over the head of Thomas Wyrick. A little bit too high. Marinette will have to punt. 4th down and 5 from the 34-yard line.
I think that was Paris, actually, Eric, right around midfield, who Luke was trying to hit. And even for Nate, that was too high, and it would have taken a threading of the needle to complete that pass, but just a little bit high. And the Marines will punt for the first time this evening after a couple of turnovers earlier in the quarter.
And I do want to mention the Mustangs' last touchdown was actually by Nate Bevers on a handoff from Devin Plate, an 11-yard touchdown run. Here's the punt. Low line drive off to the right side, takes the Marines bounce. The Mustangs try to pick it up, and they fumble it. Marinette's ball. The first turnover goes the Marines' way, and they'll take over in Mustangs territory.
And that was their highly touted receiver, Glaudman, who was trying to pick it up. It was kind of a squib kick, and he tried to scoop it, and if he was a shortstop, it would have been an error. And now it's Marinette football.
A lot of times you just want to let that go. Those worm burners like that are always dangerous to pick up, especially, shaped like a football. Like you said, a baseball is a little bit easier, but
I didn't see who pounced on it for the Marines, but Johnny on the spot, and the Marines on the good side of the field now in Mustangs territory at the 35.
1st and 10 from the 35 of the Mustangs. Weisgerber in motion, and they give it to him. Nice room. He has room off the left side. And he's dragged down, but not after picking up 12 yards in a big first down for Dalton Weisgerber.
I've called his name a whole lot. He did score in the first game of the year, but when he has been called upon in kind of a limited role, usually good results with Dalton so far.
He's been very impressive, and you know what? The best part about him is we're going to see him for another couple years because he's only a sophomore.
Like to hear that. Second first down of the ball game for Marinette.
1st down and 10 from the 24-yard line of Little Chute. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. First quarter, Marinette trails 14-0. Weisgerber in motion to the left. They get it to Jagelski right up the middle again. Again, not much doing there. Looks like he may have gotten 2.
And so far in this ball game, nothing doing inside for the Marines, but you got to keep that defense honest. So you got to keep going to it at least periodically, just to, like I said, to keep them honest, and maybe that can open things up elsewhere.
It's interesting that they're using Jagelski right up the middle.
As opposed to Maskey, you're right.
That's the way it's been the first couple of games. They use Maskey a lot right up the middle, but they're switching it up tonight. Marinette up to the ball, 2nd down and 7. They gave him 3 on that run. We have a run to the right side. Met immediately. Jagelski tried to get some room. There's nothing doing there. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 23-yard line.
And the Marines getting into these 3rd and long situations, and we'll see if they can convert here and keep this drive going. They're probably, though, in 4-down territory, without question. So
Spencer Hipke.
You don't have to get all the 7 right now.
That's right. It's still the first quarter. There's a lot of time left. 2 minutes, 26 seconds left. First quarter. Marinette trails 14-0, but we're at the 23-yard line of Little Chute. Johnson rolls out left, looking to throw. He fires up high. It goes through Webb's hands and almost lands in Paris's hands, I believe, but it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, for just a brief second, I thought that Paris did have that. It was very, very close, and certainly not by design, but almost came out smelling like a rose there. And now in 4th down, and like you said, 7 at the 23. Obviously, the Marines will go for it here. And Coach Walters, I'm not sure if he's going to call a timeout, but they're taking quite a bit of time here. I think they will call the timeout.
Timeout on the field. Marinette wants to talk this over. 4th down and 7 from the 23-yard line. We'll take a quick break and be back on Sports Radio 570.
Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair has over 25 years of experience to make your repairs fast, easy, and worry-free. With around-the-clock towing, electronic estimating, early drop-off, pickup, delivery, and the comfort of knowing Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair is an iCar Gold Class shop, one of only 25 in the state. Located on the corner of Highway 64 and 180 in Marinette. Call 715-732-4544. That's 715-732-4544 to get your estimate today. Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair. They take the worry out of your collision repair.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Marinette Marines are marching. A big play right now, 4th down and 7 from Little Chute's 23-yard line. Marinette trying to get back into the game after getting blitzed with 14 points early in this game.
Yeah, thanks to two turnovers by the Marines, a couple of fumbles, and that gave Little Chute both, in both instances, great starting position on the gridiron and a short field, less than 25 yards to work with, and they took advantage both times. And then Marinette punted, and the Mustangs fumbled on the punt return, kind of muffed it, and the Marines got it. And that's where the drive started at the 35, and now they're trying to keep it alive with one first down. Can they get another? Well, they got a 4th and 7, not an easy one to convert here.
And that's what we're going to find out right now. Marinette up to the ball. Here's the snap. Johnson looks left, has a slant. It goes in and out of the hands of Nathan Paris. A perfect call, Kit.
Yeah.
Very nice call.
And Luke Johnson with a nice pass on the slant pattern to Paris, and just couldn't hang on. And that's kind of been one of the problems so far early in the season, the Marines just not being able to take advantage of some opportunities when they're there, and they lose the ball on downs now.
It looked like they had what they wanted exactly right there.
It was there.
So Little Chute takes over at their own 23-yard line, and they lead 14-0 with 2 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first quarter. Two receivers, one split left, one split right for the Mustangs. Devin Plate barks out the orders. He gives it to Nate Bevers, and he's met again in the hole, this time by Kevin Kanine driving him back.
It's kind of an all or nothing for Little Chute when they carry the ball. They've had a couple of untouched touchdown runs, but they also had a couple of plays where it's just been bottled up with about 6 Marines right there gang tackling the ball carrier, including on that carry right there.
2nd down and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 23-yard line. 1 minute, 42 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Bevers maybe lost a couple there the way it looks.
Bevers having a big first quarter. Thanks to the turnovers, he has 2 touchdowns already. The Mustangs up to the line of scrimmage. Plate drops back. The lefty fires on a slant, and he has his man. Corey Diedrich on the slant.
That's the exact same play that Marinette ran on the 4th down conversion attempt where they did not make the pass, but now they got a third, and the Mustangs have a 3rd and short here.
3rd down and 3 for Little Chute.
Yeah, well-designed play. Just hitting the seam of the zone defense right there on that slant, and that lefty throws a pretty good ball.
He does. He's not very big either. He's a short quarterback, but he's finding alleys to throw in. 50 seconds left in the first quarter. 3rd down and 2 for the Mustangs. Cloudmans in motion. They give it to Bevers. And we have room. It's not Bevers. They faked it to Bevers.
And we got a late flag there, too. We'll see who the ball carrier was. 34, I believe.
It was Eric Heifetz, actually, the kicker.
Yeah, and he made a nice move to get into the secondary. And then once he got near midfield, as he was being tackled, a flag came down. I'm not sure there was a face mask. I didn't see that, but it was kind of a late flag right around the 49-yard line is where the ball carrier went down. Let's hear from the official here. He's mic'd up. Oh, it's a big one against Marinette. Unsportsmanlike conduct, apparently. I guess basically piling on is what in old-fashioned terms they'd call that.
And that's going to drive the Marines back into their own territory. From the 49-yard line, the ball will be placed all the way up to the 36-yard line of Marinette.
3 penalties for 32 yards in this opening quarter by Marinette. Those numbers are way too high, plus 2 turnovers. That's 5 mistakes right there.
The Mustangs up to the line of scrimmage. 26 seconds left. First quarter, they lead 14-0. Plate barks out orders. He gets it. He looks to the right. He fires wide open. Is Kyle Hippis, and he goes up the right sideline, gets sort of a pick, and goes all the way into the end zone. It looked like he was going to be stopped, and he got sort of a pick, and he went around it, and he had clear sailing all the way to the end zone.
Yeah, well, pick ended up being a good block out there because he already had the ball. So and he was wide open on the pass, and the quarterback with a touchdown pass there, he was just, of course, that's a plate. He was just isolated on the one receiver, but why not when he's wide open? And then he just tightrope down the right sidelines and then had one block to free him for the touchdown.
We await the extra point. Here it is. The kick is up, and the kick is good. The score is now Little Chute 21, Marinette nothing. We'll take a quick break and be back on Sports Radio 570.
Peshtigo National Bank, your locally owned independent community bank, supports all local high school sports. Since opening in 1901, they've grown to 5 locations in Peshtigo, Coleman, Oconto Falls, Gillett, and Marinette. Hometown banking with your neighbors and friends, Peshtigo National Bank has proudly served the community for over 100 years. Locally owned community banks support and help fund local projects. Keep your banking local and speak with a representative today. Good luck to all area high school teams from Peshtigo National Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Little Chute Mustangs just scored to make the score 21-0. Marinette on the short side of that score.
A disastrous first quarter, any way you slice it for Marinette, and this first quarter can't end soon enough.
Here's the kick. Nathan Paris has it at the 10-yard line, goes up the middle, has a little bit of room, still fighting, all the way up to the 28-yard line. Another nice return. They're getting nice returns, but I wish I wasn't calling those returns.
Exactly, because that means that they're giving up a lot of points here, and every time they've had it right around the 30-yard line or so in that vicinity, which isn't bad, isn't terrible starting shape.
6 seconds left in the first quarter. Marinette trails 21-0. Jonte Webb split left. Luke Johnson gets the snap. He takes it himself off the left side. Nothing doing there. Gang tackled by the Mustangs. Led by Cole Fisher. He met him in the hole, drove him back. He got nothing on that one. I'll bring up 2nd down and 10, and that is where the first quarter will end, with Little Chute leading 21-0. Kit and I will be back after these messages on Sports Radio 570. Here at PCM Credit Union, we are one of the few employee-based credit unions left in Wisconsin that provides a unique club-like atmosphere for its membership. We serve the employees of select companies and their families. We choose to remain this way so that we can do more and provide more financial options for our members' owners. We're now located right in your community. Come visit us at 1740 Stevenson Street in Marinette to find out the benefits you could receive by becoming a member owner of PCMCU. Or to learn how you may join, visit PCMCU.com. We're people caring more, investing in you, growing together. Membership eligibility required. Equal housing opportunity member NCUA.
Go west on 180 at the holiday. Save on cars and trucks every day. You're sure to save a bundle when you take that drive west on 180 to the riverside. You get to the roundabout, make sure you yield. Don't go straight, cause it's all cornfields. Just turn left when you see that sign. Come on in to the riverside. We'll find what you're looking for. Just show up at our front door. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram trucks. No overhead seats, you big bucks, come take a ride. If you dare, out with the cows in the country air. You save big money on your next ride when you see your friends at Riverside. From the west, take 64 until you get to our front door in Marinette. You're sure to save a bundle when you take that drive. One way or another, get to Riverside. One way or another, get to Riverside.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where we're starting the second quarter. We had one quick play, a nice little pass to Connor Nelson on the left side. Picks up 6 yards. Nice play there by Johnson and the rest of the Marines.
The first time we've called Connor's name here tonight. Good to see him back. Of course, he returned to the lineup after being out the first game against, and he was played for the M&M game and made a couple of nice plays in that game. And he's one of the key players, only a junior. Both sides of the ball. I got to get number 46 into the mix.
Nice play there. Brings up a 3rd down and 5 for the Marines. Picked up 5 on that play. Here's the snap. Luke Johnson rolls to the right, looks for someone to throw to. He goes deep. He tried to hit Webb, but Webb was covered. The ball sails out of bounds, and it'll bring up 4th down and 5 for the Marines.
Yeah, great coverage by that's Loud shown out there. Stride for stride with Jonte.
4th down and 5 for the Marines. It brings up a punting situation with 11 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first half. Dropping back is Parker Glaudmans and Kyle Heppes.
I see he's got company back there.
The Mustangs had to take a timeout. They had too many people on the field. They were trying to get off the field the best they could, but the ones trying to get off were the big boys, and they were having a hard time.
I think Marinette was actually trying to, either the fans or maybe some of the coaches were trying to get the Marines to snap the ball quickly so they could get them for the infraction. That would have been very close to an automatic, or not an automatic, but it would have been a first down via the penalty. It was 4th and 5, so it would have been very close.
In the first quarter, it was, like you said, kid, it was a disastrous first quarter. We had a 4-yard touchdown run by Nate Bevers. The extra point was good. That made it 7-0. And then at 5:36, an 11-yard touchdown run by Nate Bevers again. Extra point good. It was 14-0. And then right at the end of the first quarter, with 12 seconds left, we had a 36-yard touchdown reception by Kyle Heppes from Devon Plate, and that's where we are right now, 21-0.
And that was about a 70-some-yard drive, because they took over after Marinette missed on a fourth down conversion attempt. That was the only long drive they had. Otherwise, they had 2 short fields to work with on their first 2 scores.
Marinette gets ready to punt. Here's the snap, and there's the kick. Off to the left side. It takes a roll, and this time he decides not to try to pick it up. Kyle Heppes decides not to, since last time he fumbled, so he lets it roll, and it stops dead at the 28-yard line. That's where they'll take over. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 11 minutes left in the first half. They lead 21-0. Marinette looking for anything to get going here, defense or offense.
Yeah. Sometimes you need the defense to spark that offense, but a lot of guys are going both ways too, so they got to. That makes it doubly tough.
Devon Plate barks out the call. In motion goes Kyle Heppes to the left. They give it to Bevers off the left side. He has a little bit of room, puts his head down, barrels forward for 8 big yards.
Now Bevers, I think he had one miscue, but otherwise he's been very tough here in this. First half for the Little Chute Mustangs.
He's low to the ground, and I'm sure it's not fun when he puts his head down.
And on the first down play, getting 7 yards, but they can do anything they want right now on 2nd and short. So, take a little gamble going up top, or just keep driving the ball too with Bevers.
2nd down and 2 from their own 36-yard line. The Mustangs with the ball and the lead, 21-0. Here's the snap. Bevers up the middle. He's met again by a horde, like I said earlier, a whole host of Marines. This time, we had Connor Nelson, Devin Johnson, and a few other Marines in there to drop him down for no gain, 3rd down and 2.
And Bevers, he didn't get anything. I know it's Fred up top. Fred Furton's calling him Beavers, but we've been going with Bevers, so tomato, I guess, huh?
9 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first half. Marinette trails 21-0.
Big play right here, 3rd and short. If the Marines can get the ball back and they can at least slowly try to turn this momentum around here.
Parker Glaudmans split to the right. In motion is Heppes, and they give it to him on the run. Off to the right side, looking for room. He cuts it up. He has the first down and a few yards more. 5-yard run there by Kyle Heppes.
Heppes with a nice run. Like you said, he was in motion, took the handoff from the quarterback and turned it upfield just at the right time to get the first down and then some. And they're going quickly here.
Hurry up offense for the Mustangs. We have a quick snap to Plate. He takes it himself right up the middle, and he gains nothing.
And he was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage and Canine with the stop.
Marinette's been tough up the middle for the most part. 9 minutes, 6 seconds left in the first half. Marinette trails 21-0.
That was the first time tonight that Little Chute went with that hurry-up offense, and I'm really not sure why they chose that time to do it, and it didn't work out for them at all.
And why they chose that play, too, just a direct snap right up the middle. It didn't work.
And give the Marines defense credit there for being on their toes. They weren't caught off guard.
Into the game for the Mustangs is a junior, Chris Van Asten. Fullback, he enters. Glaudmans out to the left. There's a handoff right up the middle again to Bevers. He breaks a few tackles, A nice run there. Picks up a big 15 yards.
I mentioned this earlier. It's kind of been all or nothing for Bevers. He's got a few no gains, but he's also had some runs where in double figures, where the 12, 15 yards, including on that one right there. Just a huge hole.
He's got 39 yards on 7 carries and 2 touchdowns right now.
Unofficially 4 first down Mustangs now.
Another handoff to Bevers right up the middle, and he's met and driven back by Kevin Canine. I think he lost yardage.
Yeah, he's finally a minus there. But Canine's been in on quite a few tackles so far in his first half. Number 9, Canine having a good first half.
He lost 1 yard. They gave him forward progress. He was driven back about 4.
What do you got for Bevers so far?
He's got 39 yards on 8 carries, 2 touchdowns. Second down and 11 for the Mustangs. 7 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first half. Plate gets the snap, fakes it to Bevers, rolls out to his right. He's looking to run. He has room. He goes out of bounds, or he's pushed out of bounds by Jonte Webb and Kevin Canine again. But not after he already picked up 7 yards before he went out of bounds.
We mentioned on the pregame show that, and so did Coach Walters, that Little Chute has a good balance between the run and the pass, and their quarterback obviously is the igniter there because he can throw the ball, but also he's not afraid to tuck it under and run. He wasted no time in running with it that time, and he got near the sticks.
They run the read option, and it's probably hard to see those two. They're exactly the same size. Plate and Bevers are short to the ground. They're not easy to pick up. In motion, Chris Van Asten goes to the left side, and it looks like
it's going to be a first down for Little Chute.
That's right.
On the Marines.
Hard count brought the Marines off sides. On a 3rd and 4, that gives them a first down. They'll be all the way up to the 32-yard line of Marinette with 6 minutes, 58 seconds left, first half.
4 penalties for 37 yards on the Marines, just 1 for 5 for the Mustangs in this first half. They got 2 turnovers and also 4 penalties on the Marines, and down 21-0.
First and 10 from Marinette's 32-yard line. Little Chute with the ball and the lead, 21-0. Van Asten off to the left. 2 receivers split, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. In motion, Noah Knutson goes to the left side. Snap to Plate. He drops back. He lets it go deep. He has a man open in the end zone. The ball falls right in his hands. Kyle Hippis. 32-yard touchdown pass from Devin Plate to Kyle Hippis at a 6:22 mark of the second quarter.
That was beat his man, and quarterback, again, that's Plate. He had all day to throw.
All day to throw, and it was a beautiful pass.
Yeah, and like I said, the receiver, Hippis, beat his man down the left sidelines, and just had to, the only thing he had to do was make sure he caught it, and he did.
It was a beautiful pass, a lot of air. It hung up and landed right in the breadbasket. Here's the extra point. It's up, and it's good. The score is now Little Chute 28, Marinette nothing. We'll be back with more Marinette Marine football after these messages.
Looking for a credit union that truly cares about you and the community you live in? Then you ought to stop and see the folks at Bayshore Credit Union. Membership is open to anyone living or working in Marinette, Menominee, and Oconto counties. Whether it's everyday banking, a new auto loan, new mortgage, even a consolidation loan, they can help. And it's never too early to start establishing good credit. Bayshore Credit Union, located at 1514 Cleveland Avenue, Marinette. They're looking forward to meeting you.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Little Chute Mustangs have jumped out to a 28-0 lead with 6 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, the Marines in danger of seeing that mercy rule in the second half if things continue like this, and they have not been able to stop the Mustangs at all tonight. The only time they did was when they muffed a punt return. That's the only time.
Here's the kick. All the way to the 10-yard line. Nathan Paris off to the right side, has a little bit of room. He gets it all the way up to, it looks like maybe the 23-yard line. That's where Marinette will take over.
In the first 2 games, the Marines obviously had defensive breakdowns, giving up over 40 points in both contests, but they also were in the 20s offensively. Here it's been, their problems are continuing on the defensive side, but now it's also on offense where they just can't sustain a drive and put points on the board. So just getting tougher and tougher here in week 3.
Not much going right now for the Marines. We have 20 yards through the air and not much more on the ground, about 24 yards on the ground and 20 yards through the air. Not much happening right now. Let's see what we can get going. Handoff right up the middle. Only a yard. Inside handoff.
Yeah, you're right. So was that Caleb Maskey, I believe, on the carry? But, or Jagalski, I'm not sure. But either way, the Marines have been, or actually it was Luke Johnson. Okay. Those new uniforms that everybody, like you were saying, were off here before. They got with the 20s. You got, is it 23, 25, or 21 sometimes? And it's a little hard to tell.
We'll get the hang of it. The new uniforms, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, they are nice looking.
Very nice looking. Just a little bit hard to see the numbers. We have a timeout on the field, it looks like. I see Randy running out there and get the players some water.
Randy was wearing number 13 last week. Now he's got 63.
He likes to mix it up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Marinette with the timeout.
By the way, at halftime, looking forward to hearing Eric's interview with number 85 for the Marines. This will be a senior spotlight. You're not just talking to seniors. You talked to Connor Nelson earlier in the year. Of course, he's a junior. But with Jonte Webb, with number 85, a senior. And when you talked with, was it Caleb Maskey who said last week that Jonte is kind of the clown of the group?
Yeah, actually,
or was it
Connor Nelson who said that Jonte Webb was the comedian, and he lived up to it. He had me laughing a few times. So it's a good interview, and Kit and I, we're trying to let you guys meet and learn, see what these guys are all about, and get to know these guys. And I've been having a great time getting to know them as well. So we like to do it, and we're going to try to do it each week.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear that. Again, that's coming up at halftime.
Marinette with the ball at the 28-yard line. Their own 2nd down and 9. 5 minutes, 44 seconds left in the first half. They trail 28-0. Here's the snap. Johnson drops back. He looks deep, fires it out. He tried to get it to a cutting Nathan Paris, but he couldn't. A little bit out of his reach.
A well-designed play, and Luke had all kinds of time to throw it too, as he faked to the right, kind of just did a little spin move off to the left. He had a blocker right in front of him, and nobody was bearing down on him, and just a misfire by Luke.
And he had Nathan Paris short, and he had Jonte Webb deep, so he could have gone either way, and it kind of landed in between. 5 minutes, 39 seconds left in the first half. 3rd down and 9 for Marinette at their own 28-yard line. Nathan Paris, Jonte Webb split to the left. Luke Johnson gets it. He rolls to the left. He's under pressure, and he's taken down. Sack for the Mustangs.
And 3rd and long. Of course, Little Chute knew exactly what was going to be happening here, and unfortunately, Johnson just didn't have the time.
Noah Knutson for the Mustangs got in there and made the play. That brings up 4th down and 13 for the Marines with 5 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first half. And they trail 28-0. We'll wait the punt. Here's the snap. There's the kick. Off the side of his foot, goes off to the right side, but it takes the Marines' bounce all the way to Little Chute's 41-yard line. Caught a break there and hit and rolled quite a ways, maybe another 12 yards. Little Chute will take over at their own 42-yard line.
Now up by 4 scores here, 28-0, just under 5 minutes of play in the second quarter. And Little Chute has not been taking a whole lot of time to put points on the board. So Marines defense, can they make a stand here and hopefully start to turn things around? And keep in mind, Little Chute will also get the football to start the second half as well, as they deferred to the second half.
Little Chute, 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. They lead 28-0. The handoff right up the middle to Bevers.
Not much that time, just a couple of yards, and the Marines doing a good job corralling Mr. Bevers that time.
That actually was Eric Hippis, another Hippis kid. There's 5 of them on the Mustangs roster.
When in doubt, call up that last name, I guess. Kanine, by the way, with the tackle, and boy, Kanine's been all over the place defensively for the Marines.
Having a great game.
A lot of tackles.
2nd down and 8 for the Mustangs. Plate barks out the signals. In motion goes Kyle Hippis. They fake it to him, and they give it to, I don't know if it's his brother, but it's Eric Hippis with a... That'll bring up 3rd down 7 for the Mustangs.
Tyler Olson corralling the ball carrier that time. And a rare 3rd and long here for Little Chute. They've had the ball usually in the 3rd and short situations in this first half.
Split to the right is Parker Glaudmans for the Mustangs. 3rd down and 7 from their own 45-yard line. Here's the snap. Fake the handoff, looking to go deep. He lets it go, looking for Glaudmans. Underthrown, and it hits the ground, incomplete.
It's Connor Nelson who was bearing down on the quarterback. And Nelson, I think, disrupted, and not only disrupted the throw, I think he actually hit the quarterback as he was throwing the football there. Plate was under duress thanks to Connor Nelson, and that forced the incompletion and a punt now for the Mustangs. I think it might be the first one of the night.
A punt, 4th and 7 from their own 45-yard line. They lead 28-0, do the Little Chute Mustangs. Here's the snap. There's the kick. A high kick, very high. We have a fair catch at about the 23-yard line. Actually, they give it to him at the 25, and that's where Marinette will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line, down 28-0. With 3 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, the Marines offense with that 0 up there, they've been stymied by the Mustangs in this first half. I've got Marinette for, I believe, just 2 first downs unofficially, so having all kinds of difficulties moving the pigskin in this first half.
Marinette up to the line of scrimmage. 2 split to the left. Harris and Webb. Johnson, a little wide receiver screen. They got it to the fullback. I think it was Weisgerber. Well, we'll see. It was.
Or Nelson.
No, it was Nelson.
His second reception. He was out there in space and managed to get a little bit of yardage there. And about 3 or 4 the way it looks. Not a bad first down play.
That's worked 2 times now. A little fullback screen to the left side.
Yeah, Connor's showing some good hands.
3 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first half. 2nd down and 7 for the Marines. Jonte Webb split to the right. Johnson looks to get it to him on a little stop, and he does. That's a first down for the Marines. Picked up 9 yards.
It's a short little, must be like a little curl in for the Marines, and Johnson to Webb connect for the 2nd time tonight, and the 3rd first down of the evening for Marinette.
Marinette, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left in the first half. They trail 28-0. Marinette up to the line of scrimmage. Jonte Webb goes out to the right side. Everybody else in tight. Connor Nelson in motion to the right. Here's the snap. Luke Johnson takes it himself to the left side, looking for room, and he gets strung out all the way to the sideline. Nothing doing there. He might have got 1 or 2.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of east and west running as opposed to north and south, thanks to the Mustangs stringing that play out. And Johnson initially gave the first would-be tackler a stiff arm to get away from him, and then he actually broke another tackle. But unfortunately, he was doing all of that while moving laterally, and like you said, only got about a yard.
2nd down and 9 for the Marines from their own 42-yard line. 2 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first half. Marinette up to the ball. Jonte Webb splits left. Everybody else in tight in the wing T. Here's the snap. Johnson takes it himself. He's met immediately, and he fights forward for 2 yards. Luke Johnson doing a lot of running tonight.
Yeah, more so than he has in the previous 2 games. Something that the defense appears to be maybe giving them a little bit. And now it's going to be a 3rd and about 4 for the Marines, and the clock is not on their side. They only have 1 timeout left, and we're approaching 2 minutes here in the first half.
He has 5 carries already, does Johnson, but for only 8 yards. Johnson gets the call from his coach, brings it in. 1 minute, 49 seconds left, first half. 3rd down and 5 for the Marines. We have a flag. Not a flag, it's actually a timeout. Marinette, with 1 minute, 42 seconds left in the first half, they take a timeout.
Yeah, the Marines, Coach Walters obviously didn't like what he was seeing out there, and it's 3rd down, and obviously want to try to keep this drive alive. Only 1:42 to go, and and they just burned their last time out. And if I'm not mistaken, there, I think that there was they probably burned about a good 25, 30 seconds off the play clock before they called the timeout.
Exactly. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also brought to you by Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Ocano, Marinette. Kane Chevrolet, we appreciate them. We take the Chevy Equinox to all of our games, and it gets us there in style and safely. Marinette up to the ball with 1 minute, 42 seconds left in the first half. 3rd down and 5 from their own 46-yard line. Here's the snap. Johnson rolls to his right under pressure. He lets it go. Just out of the reach of Jonte Webb. If he could have corralled that, it would have been a touchdown. He had room.
And Luke throwing it kind of across his body as he was rolling to his right, and he had a player coming from the left and also from the right, and he was being hit just as he let that thing go. If he would have had just a fraction of a second longer, that might have been 6 points for Marinette.
And that brings up a punting situation for the Marines. 4th down and 5 from their own 46-yard line. Back for the Mustangs is Kyle Hippis, who's done a ton of damage at the receiver position tonight. 2 touchdown receptions. Here's the kick. Nice kick. Hippis under it. He has it at the 22. Goes to his left, gets a block, and he's taken down at the 27-yard line, and that's where Little Chute will take over with 1 minute, 26 seconds left in the first half.
And Hippis is dangerous, not only receiving, but also as a punt returner, too.
That's an understatement. He has had a big first half for the Mustangs. He's had a 36-yard touchdown reception and a 32-yard touchdown reception, so 2 big ones for Kyle Hippis. The Mustangs with the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. They lead 28-0. Spreading out to the right is Corey Diedrich. In motion, Kyle Hippis, that man, there he goes again. Plate drops back, fires it to the left. Nice play there, reception by Parker Glaudmans. A little quick hitting play, picks up 12. Devin Plate now has 96 yards. He's 5 of 6 with 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10 from their 42. Same play again to Glaudmans. Almost exactly the same amount of yards. This time he got 10.
It's right at the 6, so if he didn't get the first down, then they won't. That is 2nd down, so the clock keeps rolling.
2nd down and an inch, it looks like.
Probably didn't have a measurement here.
55 seconds left in the first half. Here's the snap. Plate looks deep. He lets it go off the right side. Wide open is Hippis. He has it. Touchdown.
Okay, so he's having a great first half.
That time it was from 58 yards.
3 touchdown receptions for Hippis in his first half. Wow, Kyle Hippis. And, you know, he's beating the Marine secondary by probably a good 5 yards, especially on the last 2 touchdown receptions. The one he caught and then he took it to the sidelines.
That time, he was, like Kit said, he was wide open. The last play that he caught, he kind of had to wait for the ball. It was underthrown a little bit. That throw was thrown perfectly in stride for the touchdown. Here's the extra point. It's up, and it's good, bringing the score to Little Chute 35, Marinette nothing, with 45 seconds left the first half.
Yeah, I was thinking when Little Chute got the football back, I was wondering if they'd have enough time to put points on the board. They had ample time, because they got it back with, what, about 1:20 or something like that? Here's only 45 seconds to go. 3 plays and they're in.
Talk about efficient. Devin Plate is 7 of 8, 3 touchdowns and 164 yards in the first half passing.
Well, we knew about their balanced attack coming in, and once we add up the numbers at the intermission, I think that's going to bear it out that it's been evenly distributed through the air and also on the ground. Because Bevers have been running very well, and like you said, the passing of Plate, getting it done in both fashions. 45
seconds left in the first half. Marinette trails 35-15. 0 to Little Chute. Little Chute set to kick off. Doing the honors is Eric Hippis. Big leg into that one, almost all the way to the goal line at the 3. Jagelski off the right side. He has a little bit of room, cuts it back, a little hop step, still going. Jitterbugging up the right sideline, and he's taken down. It looks like at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, there's one of those patented James Jagelski runs right there. Got about a 32-yard return when it was all said and done.
He kind of gets lost with all those big bodies, and then you see him take a hop step, and he pops through and keeps on going.
That's just a great it's balance and also vision as well. Just knowing when to make that cut and being able to see that hole as well.
Marinette has the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. 34 seconds left in the first half. Jonte Webb split left. Everybody else in tight in the wing T. We have a handoff straight up the middle. Picked up maybe 2 yards on that one. Jagelski. They haven't been able to get him on track yet. 9 yards on 6 carries for James Jagelski. That brings up, actually got 3. That brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Marines. 10 seconds left and running.
Has Caleb Maskey had any carries yet tonight?
He has not.
I'm just trying to see if there's something wrong with him or...
Marinette lets the clock run out, and that's the way the first half will end. Little Chute 35, Marinette nothing. Kit and I will be back with more Marinette Marines football after these messages on Sports Radio 570.
Kim Barrett and all the staff of Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine of Marinette are committed to get you back to your quality of life. Tri-City Physical Therapy has been in business for over 25 years and specialize in the treatment of shoulder, knee, and back, as well as general physical therapy. Let them help you overcome pain after an injury or disease. Tri-City Therapy and Sports can provide you with the most skilled and personalized rehabilitation treatment plan possible to help you get back on track. Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine at 602 Wells Street in Marinette.
Bayside Motorsports and Cycle is your full-line service destination, servicing most makes and models of ATVs and motorcycles, from a simple tune-up and oil change to major engine overhauls. Their expanded service department will have you back on your machine fast. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle also specializes in motorcycle and ATV performance work to keep you a step above your competition. Ask about their service specials. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle in Green Bay or at BaysideMotorsports.com.
Where can you go to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Dexter's. Dexter's in Menominee has enough seating for the whole team and a menu to fit everyone's taste and appetite. Or call ahead and take your order to go. Dexter's looks forward to seeing you this year. Good luck to all M&M Sports participants. Dexter's, located on 10th Avenue in Menominee. Check out their menu online at dextersrestaurantonline.com and like us on Facebook.
Find your next truck at Kane, the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay for 2015. From the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, Kane delivers Silverado. Or the most advanced pickup ever, Kane delivers Sierra. Right now, visit Kane in Marinette or O'Connell to enter the Chevrolet Packers Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes. Win a 2016 Chevrolet and other great prizes. Over 300 quality vehicles at KaneGM.com, O'Connell and Marinette.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where Marinette finds themselves trailing big at halftime to Little Chute, 35-0. Let's go through some stats right now. We'll start with the scoring stats. In the first quarter at the 9:30 mark, Little Chute struck first. 4-yard touchdown run by Nate Bevers. The extra point was good. That made it 7-0 Little Chute. At the 5:36 mark, they scored again an 11-yard touchdown run, again by Nate Bevers. The extra point was good. It was now 14-0 Little Chute. With 12 seconds left in the first quarter, Little Chute struck again. This time, Kyle Hippis, a 36-yard touchdown reception from his quarterback, Devin Plate, and at the end of one, it was the Mustangs 21, Marinette nothing. At the 6:22 mark of the second quarter, the Mustangs struck. Kyle Hippis again, 32-yard touchdown pass from Devin Plate. The score was now, the extra point was good, and the score was 28-0. With 45 seconds left in the first half, The Mustangs struck again, and who struck? Devin Plate and Kyle Hippis yet again for the third time in the first half, this time from 58 yards out. And that brought us to where we are right now, 35-0.
Yeah, those two putting up some big fantasy league numbers right there. What do you have as far as individual stats?
Individual stats for the Marines, there's not too much to talk about. As far as total yardage, 29 yards rushing, 33 yards passing. That's all we have going on for Marinette right now. See if they can get it going in the second half.
Yeah, they have 37 yards in penalties, so they have more yards in penalties than they have on the ground, I believe, right?
On the ground, 29 yards, yep. James Jagelski, 6 carries, 9 yards. They have not been able to get him in open space yet tonight. Dalton Weisgerber had 1 carry, 12 yards, so that was one big carry that Marinette did have, and that was by Weisgerber. Luke Johnson, the quarterback, has 5 carries for 8 yards. In the passing department, Luke Johnson is 5 of 11 for 33 yards. Jonte Webb has 2 receptions for 17 yards. Spencer Hipke, 1 reception for 6 yards. And Connor Nelson, 2 receptions for 10 yards. It is nice to see Connor Nelson using that fullback to get out there, and that's a nice way to pick up short yardage, even get a first down, or even get you into a good second down play.
A new wrinkle that we hadn't really seen out of the Marines in the first 2 games, and saw it a couple of times in the first half here tonight.
For the Little Chute Mustangs tonight, they have 77 yards rushing and 164 yards passing. So they're getting it done both ways. Devin Plate, the quarterback, has 3 carries for 13 yards. Nate Bevers has 8 carries, 39 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Eric Hippis has 3 carries for 20 yards, and Kyle Hippis, the receiver, has 1 carry for 5 yards. The quarterback, Devin Plate, having a big first half. He's 7 of 8 for 164 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those 3 touchdowns have all gone to Kyle Hippis. Kyle Hippis, talk about efficient, 3 receptions, 126 yards, and all 3 for touchdowns.
Wow. And as far as other stats here, we got first downs. Little Chute had 6 compared to 3 for Marinette. Penalties, Little Chute just 1 infraction, 1 penalty for 5 yards, and Marinette, as I mentioned earlier, 37 yards in penalties on 4 penalties for 37 yards. The Marines turned the ball over twice in the first half with a couple of fumbles on their first 2 drives, and in both cases, they gave the Mustangs a very short field to work with inside the 30 or 25 yard line, and they capitalized in both cases. And the Mustangs had 1 turnover. They fumbled on a punt, and the Marines recovered that. And then the Marines, that was actually their best field position. They had it at the 35-yard line of Little Chute. They got it down to, I think it was around the 23 or 21-yard line in that vicinity. They were stopped on downs, and then Little Chute marched down the field with their longest touchdown drive after that. So really, the Marines have not stopped the Mustangs at all. The only time was when they muffed that 1 punt. Otherwise, every time they've had the ball, except I think one time they had a punt. That's the only time.
That's it. Tonight's halftime interview is brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Ocano, Marinette.
And so far this season, Eric has introduced us to number 46, Connor Nelson, also number 25, Caleb Maskey, and now we go to the receivers with number 85, Jonte Webb, here on the Sports
Eric
Radio.
From here with the Marinette Marines, Jonte Webb. Jonte, thanks for joining me today.
No problem.
You just had the M&M game. You've been in some now. Tell us about your experiences in the M&M game and how different it is from other games.
It's been really fun. I mean, it hasn't come out our way, obviously, in the last years. I mean, in my years that I played. But, yes, it's very different. The emotions and all the people, it's a very important game, and it means a lot. It just sucks, I never got to come out in the way I wanted.
What about the beautiful catch you had down the sideline against Menominee? Did you take that ball off the top of the defender's helmet? Because where I was sitting in the booth, that's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah. Our quarterback, Luke Johnson, kind of underthrew me, and the kid was smaller than me. I just kind of reached over, and I kind of, pinched the ball right between my hands and the kid's helmet, and luckily I came down with it.
It was an awesome catch, and you've kind of become known for those catches. down the field. Do you like going up and getting the ball against those cornerbacks?
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. I mean, we have our, main fade route, and it's basically just me going and getting the ball, whether I'm open or not.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times you have such a height advantage. I know last year's M&M game, you made a few catches like that against Menominee, and that must have been a highlight for you.
Yeah, it's always fun making, big plays in the M&M game. It's almost like a dream.
This week you have Little Chute coming off such an emotional game that you had against Menominee. Is it really just about sort of getting back into a routine and getting back to work today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the best part about the M&M game is it is, a non-conference game, so it means a lot, but, again, then it doesn't. So we just, we got to stay focused. Our main goal is playoffs, and, our first step is just being Little Chute now.
Question about your jersey number choice. You wear number 85. Why'd you pick that number? Is it for a favorite player or any reason like that?
When I first, became a wide receiver, I didn't really know what number, and I wanted to do 80 because of down driver at the time. And then, he was done or whatever, and then I just kind of thought of a good wide receiver number, and I liked Greg Jennings at the time as well. So I'm a big Packers fan. He was still for the Packers, so picked them, and then I just kind of stuck with it, and I never wanted to change.
Who's your favorite NFL player right now?
Right now, I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, of course. Like I said, big Packer fan. A-Rod's my man, but I also like A.J. Watt just because he came from Wisconsin, and, he's a stud.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Just a great guy overall.
When you and your teammates are getting ready for the game, what kind of music are you guys listening to? What gets you guys fired up?
Just the basic pregame, the hard rock, just getting us jacked up, staying focused, whatever.
Who's in charge of that? Is the coach, or do you guys get to choose
that
music?
No, usually our rapper, our DJ is Luke Johnson.
Really?
He's a big music Nazi. He's all over that.
So Luke Johnson's the DJ, but I heard you're the comedian. I interviewed Connor Nelson. Connor Nelson said that you were the funniest guy on the team. Why do you think he said that?
The main thing right now is because, we're kind of young, so I just like to keep the players loose, make sure that they realize that, it is just a game and we are here to have fun, so.
What are your plans after you graduate from Marinette High?
I'm thinking about going to Eau Claire for study business and management.
Well, Jonte, thanks for joining me today, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium. That was number 85, Jonte Webb.
That's a good interview. And Jonte, he puts things in perspective, and he also seems to be a really good team leader, a senior, and you like to see that. A lot of young guys on the team, and keeps them loose, and you need guys like that on the team.
A lot of great guys on this Marines team. I'm coming to learn, and as I've been talking to them throughout the season, a lot of great seniors, juniors, just a lot of great kids. They have their head on their shoulders the right way, and I've been having a great time getting to know them, and I hope the listeners have as well.
Yeah, that right now they got to just weather the storm, and their toughest part of their schedule is a brutal schedule. The early going here, you start off with Fox Valley Lutheran, who proved to be a very difficult opponent, and the Marines played them pretty tough for a while there before things got out of hand. It was 42-27. And then, of course, you had the M&M game. We all know about Menominee. And here tonight, running into a team that won the state championship last year in D4. Obviously, a lot of the players have changed, but they still have a very formidable team. And they got Wrightstown, who's state ranked, coming up next week. So it's 4 killer games to start the season. And you would hope that things would hopefully get easier as time goes on. But the main thing is, somehow you got to keep the team. You got to keep them up. Whether it's the coaching staff or players like Jonte, you got to try to just worry about getting to the next play and on to the next game.
That's right. Keep them together, because when things are going wrong, you can definitely fall apart. And it's nice to have those team leaders. And I know the coaches, they stress that as well, is just to stick together. And like you said, don't worry about what happened in the past. Keep pushing forward, and there's going to be a game next week, and they can keep improving, and there's going to be better times ahead.
Exactly, and right now 35-0, Marinette on the short end here at the intermission. So work to do in this one, and we'll see how it goes in the second half. But the Marines have been putting up averaging around 25 points a game or so, but putting up the donut in the first half, and unfortunately they're on their way to giving up at least into the 40s for the third consecutive week.
And Little Chute will be receiving the ball to make things worse. But there is A lot of exciting things going on at Marinette High School. In November, I believe, the Hall of Fame inductions will be taking place.
Exactly, yeah. The second year that they've done this now. Of course, last year was the inaugural year with the Sports Hall of Fame, the Athletic Hall of Fame, and they had a fantastic ceremony out at Little River Country Club a year ago. They're going to have it out there again this year. And last year, you had Larry McCarron as the MC. I'm not sure who they're going to have doing the honors this year. It's still almost 2 months away. Well, actually, a little more than 2 months away. But I don't have the list in front of me, but just going off memory here, I know some of those football players from Marinette back in the mid-'70s who played under Irv Kunish. You're going to have guys like Tim Farley, Dan Lefevre, and Dave Franker all going into the Hall of Fame. And, of course, with Farley and with Franker, both well-rounded athletes. I mean, Dave was a fantastic baseball player and also basketball as well. And likewise with Tim Farley, he could do it all. Dan Lefevre ended up playing at Nebraska for football back in the mid-'70s.
Wow.
The Cornhuskers were
Johnny Rogers in their game.
Exactly. And had a chance to interview Dan Lefevre a number of years ago. It was for the 100th anniversary of the M&M game, and I'm looking forward to hearing all those speeches. And those are only 3 of them. You also have others who are going to be inducted. I know Brian Betcher, who for a long time was Marinette's all-time leading scorer in basketball until that record was broken back in 2008. And Brian Betcher, back in the early 70s, boy, he was fun to watch. And then going back even further than that, even a couple of guys before my time, Jim Stram, interviewed him. He was a class of 1950, and he was a quarterback for the Marines, obviously way back when. And I know, I believe Tricia Witt also is going to be inducted as well, and she was in class of 1990, I want to say. So more details to come. And as a matter of fact, Corey Lambie, the principal, does the PA here. And at one point in the coming weeks here, we hope to get him for an interview. I know he's busy at halftime, but maybe we can record something with Corey and talk to him as that gets closer. Be listening for more information on how to get tickets. They always do a great job. Last year they had a nice spread of food out there, very nice meal. And then with hearing all those speeches. And again, circle the date on your calendar, November 7th. It's a Saturday night at Little River Country Club on the Shore Drive in Marinette. Year number 2 for the Athletic Hall of Fame. And I'm not sure if it's going to be, I know in talking with some of the people involved, I don't think it's going to be a yearly thing, but who knows, maybe it will be. I mean, they just started last year, so there's obviously a wealth of talent to choose from the long history of Marinette High School athletics.
I love that kind of stuff. I mean, it's so great to hear, like you said, all the speeches and all the stories, and to hear what sports was like back then, and even what Marinette, just the area was like when those players played. And it's great that the young kids here get to learn about all the past, because Marinette has had really an amazing athletic past in various sports, and it's great that we get to learn about that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, last week when you interviewed Caleb Maskey, mentioned Jeff Messenger. And Jeff Messenger, obviously, he was done playing at Marinette before Caleb was even born.
That's what I was going to say next. So it's nice that they do have that knowledge of the history of their high school, because it's very important.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't care where you're playing, it's good to know the history of your team, whether it be a high school team or if you move on to play collegiately or wherever.
And be proud because
take the history lesson.
And be proud because Marinette, they've been playing since the 1800s, so this is not a short history by any stretch of the imagination. This is a long history.
It's a long, proud history that unfortunately has gone through a lot of lean years, and eventually things will turn around. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be tonight, down 35-0, but eventually it will. I mean, just keep plugging away.
And I know a lot of these young kids, the kids who are in high school right now, like you said, they weren't even born back then, but I was there. I was around. I was younger then, but I remember Marinette was a powerhouse at that time. You and I have looked over the numbers for the Bay Conference, and Marinette was right up at the top with some of those huge schools. Now we think of those schools as, huge and bigger than Marinette, but at the time, Marinette was just as tough as any of them.
Oh, yeah, like I was saying, I remember when I was in middle school and even early in high school, seeing guys like Dave Franker and Dan Lefevre and Ryan Betcher play, and whether it be whatever sport they were playing at the time. And man, those guys were they were fun to watch. They really were.
They really were fun to watch, and even the M&M game we had that last week, I remember when I was a kid, those games were tough, hard-fought games coming down to the end. Almost every game was close between Menominee and Marinette back in those days. It was so close. Marinette had such a tough team, and they came out on top quite often too.
Oh yeah, that's why that series is so close. But 50, I think 52 to 50, Menominee now leads by 2. But in the last, I think 16 years, Menominee is like 13-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can see that Marinette actually had the advantage for quite a while there.
Menominee's made up ground. Well, we are just about ready to get back underway. Marinette Marine football, the home opener. They're trailing 35-0 at halftime. Marinette will be kicking off from left to right on your sports radio 570 radio dial.
And unless Marinette can get on the board in some fashion, this will be a very fast second half because you got the running clock. I hate calling it the mercy rule, but that's what they call it, and that'll be in effect right out of the gate here because if there's a 35-point spread in the second half, then you go to the running clock. The only time that the clock will stop is on timeouts and injuries, and of course at the end of the third quarter.
The Mustangs have one of their game breakers in the back waiting for the kickoff. It's not Kyle Hippus, it's Parker Glaudmans.
He's been actually kind of quiet overall compared to Hippus.
Looking into this game, doing research, he was the one that I had read a lot about. James Jagelski gets ready to kick off for Marinette, and here's the kick. Lefty. Kicks it off to the left side, out of bounds, and it draws a flag. A flag on the kickoff to start the second half. Little Chute will take over at the 35-yard line to start the second half. First down and 10 for the Mustangs. The Mustangs huddle up. The referees are having a little
discussion. I'm not sure what that's all about.
A little confusion out there right now.
They're trying to figure out where to spot the ball.
Looks like it is going to be at the 35-yard line. Devin Plate and Nate Bevers in the backfield for the Mustangs. The referees are still having a little bit of trouble here. The ball is now down. We are ready to go. Second half action between Little Chute and Marinette. In motion, Chris Van Asten. They get it to Bevers. He tries to go to the left side, follows his blocker, cuts it in, back outside, and he is met at the 42-yard line.
Now, he was driven back there, but not until he got about maybe 7-8 yards. And you mentioned following his blocker. He showed great patience in that run to the left. Actually had his hand on the back of the blocker and then turned it upfield.
We have a block in the back against the Mustangs. First penalty of the second half. That'll negate that fine run by Bevers. The ball goes all the way back to the 33-yard line, and that's where they'll take over. First down and 13.
It's only their second penalty of the night.
Little Chute up to the ball. In motion, Glaudmans, and they hand it to him in motion, and he has it off the right side. Nice job by Marinette to string that out.
Goodman's got close to the original line of scrimmage.
Not much. Give Marinette credit.
Like you said, they did a good job of stringing that play out to the left side of the defense, staying in there and staying home and turning it inside.
That brings up second down and 9. He picked up 4. It was first and 13. They're at the 36-yard line now. In motion, Glaudmans. They get it to Bevers this time, up the gut. Nothing doing. Marinette pushes him back, and there he is again, Kevin Canine.
Yeah, number 9, Kevin Canine, called his name a lot. He's been in on a whole bunch of tackles for Marinette, and a lot of times, whenever Bevers has been hit for a loss, usually it's been Canine doing the honors.
Canine getting his head in those holes and stopping the run game for the Marines. 10 minutes, 4 seconds left in the third quarter. 3rd down and 11 for the Mustangs. Spread out to the left. Parker Gludmans, covered by Jonte Webb. Plate drops back. Wide receiver screen. They get it, but it's met quickly there by Marinette. It looked like he had some room, but Spencer Hipke got in there and stopped him immediately.
Yeah, Spencer just slowed him down just enough for some reinforcements to get there. Kind of was hanging onto his leg and had him just long enough for, like I said, for his friends to get there to corral the carrier.
That brings up punting situation for Little Chute. 4th down and 10 from the 35-yard line, their own. Here's the snap. There's the kick, a high kick. Fair catch, James Jagelski. Fair catch at the 34-yard line, and that's where Marinette will take over. 1st down and 10, their first possession in the second half. That was a nice punt.
That was, and obviously no return. And as you mentioned earlier, it's going to be a fast second half unless Marinette can get on the board. Already 3 minutes gone here in this third quarter. Even when, of course, even when they had the penalty, the clock kept on rolling.
Marinette up to the ball. Jonte Webb split left with Nate Paris. Johnson gets the ball. He takes it himself off the left side. Pushes forward for maybe a yard. I'll give him a yard. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Yards on the ground just very hard to come by for the purple and white here tonight. Well, they have about 40 yards all told, or 30, something like that?
34.
34? Wow.
Actually 30. 34, 33 yards passing, 30 yards rushing right now. 8 minutes, 5 seconds left in the third quarter. 2nd down and 7 for the Marines. They gave him 3. Johnson with the ball. He faked the run, jumped up, almost like the Rose jump pass. He didn't really jump, but he lofted it over the defender, but it fell incomplete.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Connor Nelson. I think Connor actually hung on though.
Oh, they gave it to him.
Yeah,
Shoestring catch.
Yeah, he hung on. They moved it up to about 2 yards shy of the 6th. And Connor Nelson with 3 catches out of the fullback position here tonight.
Connor Nelson showing off his hands tonight. 3 catches, 15 yards for the fullback. Marinette, 3rd down and 2 at their own 43-yard line. Jonte Webb split to the right. Nathan Paris alongside him. Johnson has it, drops back. Looking to throw, he lets it go deep. He has a man, Nathan Paris has it. He stiff arms one tackler down to the 10-yard line. Nice play by Nathan Paris.
Yeah, he got wide open, and he shot a would-be tackler, and he was kind of brought down rather roughly by that Little Chute Mustang, the defender. And the Marines knocking on the door for their first points of the night.
47-yard gain for the Marines. Nathan Paris' first catch of the night. 1st and 10 from the 10. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left, third quarter. Jonte Webb split to the right. Everybody else in tight in the wing T. In motion. Dalton Weisgerber. We have whistles. False start against Marinette. That'll drive them back to the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal from the 15-yard line. Or are they saying they can get a first down, Kit? It looks like they're saying they can get a first down right around the goal line.
And that's 5 penalties now for 42 yards against Marinette. And boy, that one, when they just looking at Coach Walters when he had just rolled his eyes. That's when you go from a 1st and 10 to a 1st and 15 this close. That just drives a coach nuts.
Marinette up to the ball. Nathan Paris to the left. Jonte Webb split far to the left. Here's the snap. Luke Johnson looking left. He fires, and it's knocked down. Knocked down by the linebacker, Ryan Jansen.
Yeah, nice play. And with the left hand knocking it down, and did a good job of avoiding a possible interference call.
That probably hurt just a little bit. Johnson really let that one go. 5 minutes, 18 seconds left, third quarter. 2nd down and 15 for the Marines. Luke Johnson gets the call. Up to the line of scrimmage, Marinette. Jonte Webb out left, everybody else in tight. Here's the snap. Johnson back. He looks for Webb. A fade to the end zone. They give it to him. He caught it. What a catch. I didn't think he had it. Somehow he pulled that one in. Right over the outstretched hand of the defender.
Going towards the end zone where the scoreboard is on that side of the field. It's away from us on the far side of the other side of the opposite the press box. So we couldn't tell until the official put his arms up.
I saw the defender put his hands up. It must have just gone over his hands for the touchdown.
What was Jonte saying when he talked to him with a halftime interview? That sometimes they'll just throw it up to me and go up and get it.
That's what they did. First score for Marinette. In for the extra point. Garrett Wallaway, the lefty, kicks it, and it is blocked. Blocked by Little Chute. The extra point is no good. That brings the score to Little Chute 35, Marinette 6. We'll be back after these messages on Sports Radio 570.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics as well. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Marines just got on the board. A beautiful pass from Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb, a fade, 15-yard fade to the left corner of the end zone, and he pulled it in.
I tell you, that number 85, Jonte Webb, he's good for a couple of highlights every game, and even in a game where the Marines are on the short end of a lopsided score. He is fun to watch, and the Marines have some playmakers, and that's kind of the frustrating part now, is that they just can't get everything together yet.
Jonte Webb, he's magic on those fades. Here's the kick. Garrett Wallaway gets a leg into it to the 20-yard line. Picked up there by Parker Glaubmans, and he is corralled immediately by Marinette. Beautiful play there. Brought down by Spencer Hipke. We've called his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, good special teams play right there. And yeah, the Marines trying to turn things around a little bit here. And who knows, maybe a Little Chute, after having a 35-0 lead, maybe they came out not quite as pumped up, maybe relaxing just a little bit, and might give Marinette a chance to maybe make things interesting here. We'll see. A long ways to go, though.
4 minutes, 46 seconds left. Third quarter, Marinette trails 35-6.
At least we got rid of the running clock.
Exactly. One step at a time. First and 10 from their own 19-yard line. They give it to Bevers right up the middle. Not too much doing there. Looked like he might have got a yard. See where they mark it. Eric Hippis actually on that carry. They give him 1 yard.
Told you before, when in doubt, say Hippis. There's 5 on the
They
team.
have 5. Eric Hippis, 21 yards on 4 carries tonight. The Mustangs spread out this time. A little different look by them. Plate has it. He takes it himself off the left side. He has a little bit of room. He gets it all the way out to the 29-yard line. Nice run there.
That Plate's a good-looking signal caller. He runs that, as you mentioned earlier, with that almost like a read option. And he's a very steady ball carrier, and he can throw a decent pass as well.
He followed his blockers very well that time. That brings up a 3rd down and 1 from the 29-yard line for Little Chute. Devin Plate has 21 yards on the ground on 4 carries. He has 167 yards passing tonight.
And 3 touchdowns.
Little Chute has the ball. Marinette fakes the blitz, backs out of it. Inside handoff, it's Hippis again.
He didn't get much, but he didn't need much either. We'll see if he got the first down.
I don't think he did. We'll see where they mark it. The one referee, where he's standing, it doesn't look like he has it. Well, they give it to him. They don't even measure, Kit. They gave him the yard. It's 1st down and 10 for Little Chute from the 30-yard line. Eric Hippis picks up that first down for the Mustangs. 3 minutes left, third quarter. They spread out again, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. In motion, Chris Van Asten, the fullback. Plate drops back, fires, and he hits his man, Corey Diedrich.
Well, they like that slant pattern, and why not? They've had a lot of success with it, and the Marines defender's playing pretty far off the receiver, and that's been open all night.
Beautiful play there, nice slant for 12 yards. Corey Diedrich, he has 2 catches for 19 yards.
Back-to-back first downs for the Mustangs. That gives them unofficially 8 on the night.
Devin Plate is 9 for 10 tonight throwing the ball. He's only missed once.
90% completion percentage. Wow.
2 minutes, 36 seconds left, third quarter. Little Chute has the ball at their own 44-yard line. Plate gets it, drops back, fires again, another slant. This time it goes to Parker Glaudmans. He's in the open, and he's gone. 5, touchdown.
Well, you were saying earlier that's the guy you were doing the research on, and he finally has a big play in this ball game. It took till the third quarter, but that's 4 touchdown passes now for Plate.
From Devin Plate to Parker Glaudmans. Plate fired that one. He likes that slant.
Yeah, Devin Plate's having a night like Brett Hundley did last night for the Packers. 4 touchdown passes.
Exactly. He had a huge game last night. The Packers got the win. Their last game of the preseason. We await the extra point.
One of the Hippises. 23. Is that how you say it? I guess that's how you say it.
That's how you say it. And it's good. Eric Hippis. Like Kit said, if you're in doubt, call Hippis. And he kicked it through there. The score is now Little Chute 42, Marinette 6. We'll take a quick break and be back on Sports Radio 570.
Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair has over 25 years of experience to make your repairs fast, easy, and worry-free. With around-the-clock towing, electronic estimating, early drop-off, pickup, delivery, and the comfort of knowing Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair is an I-Car Gold Class shop, one of only 25 in the state, located on the corner of Highway 64 and 180 in Marinette. Call 715-732-4544. That's 715-732-4544 to get your estimate today. Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair. They take the worry out of your collision repair.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where Little Chute just scored again. This time, Parker Glaudmans, a 56-yard touchdown reception from Devin Plate.
The third straight game where Marinette has given up at least 42 points, as Little Chute at 42 right now.
We await the kick. Here's the kick by Eric Hippis. This time a low liner takes a Mustang hop all the way to the 8-yard line. Jagelski has it, trying to make some magic happen. Can't do it. He's taken down by 4 Mustangs.
Yeah, that kick was kind of a no man's land. As you mentioned, it took a Mustang's bounce and away from James, and he had to kind of backtrack to pick it up. And that play was probably, or was kind of dead before it even started.
It looks like they give him progress to the right around the 17-yard line, it looks. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line for the Marines. That's where they'll start with 1 minute, 55 seconds left in the third quarter. Jonte Webb out to the right, everyone else in tight. Johnson looks for Webb, fires it over his head and complete. Nothing doing there.
Jonte's got some hops, but not like that. That was well overthrown for big number 85.
You need special shoes to get that one.
Yeah. And the clock keeps on rolling because, once again, it's at least a 35-point spread here. Actually, 36 to be exact.
42-6. Little Chute with the lead. Running clock, 1 minute, 18 seconds left, third quarter.
Yeah, trying to come back after a big deficit in the second half when you're down by with a running clock, it's almost impossible because you got to get a stop there at some point.
Here's the snap. Luke Johnson, a little reverse action there. He got it to Dalton Weisgerber, a little misdirection, but it was sniffed out pretty good by the Mustangs.
Yes, you end up not only battling the other team, but you're battling the clock too. So Weisgerber's had a couple of nice runs in this ballgame on the season so far.
He has 13 yards on 2 carries tonight. 36 seconds left in the third quarter. Marinette, 3rd down and 9. Up to the line they come. Nathan Paris and Jonte Webb split out. Webb the furthest of the two. Marinette traveling left to right on your sports radio, 570 radio dial. Johnson has it, looks deep, he fires. He has his man, Nathan Paris again.
That was a great throw, and Luke had to step up in the pocket, did a nice job of kind of feeling the pressure, and he just stepped up just ever so slightly, but just enough to give him that extra mini-second to throw the pass to Paris, who made a nice catch in traffic and a great throw that was in traffic for the first down.
Big 18-yard pickup there for the Marines. That is how the third quarter will end. Little Chute 42, Marinette 6. That was a nice play kit by Johnson. He was under pressure. There were 3 Mustangs all around him. He just fired that ball, and Nathan Paris was there, and he brought it in.
And just that little a slight move that Luke made in the pocket, and that's the mark of an experienced quarterback, where you're feeling the pressure, and you know that you're feeling it, and you know you got to make a move of some kind, and he stepped up just a fraction, just enough to buy a little time. Like you said, he threw a bullet, a strike, right, hitting Paris between the 3 and the 2 of his jersey.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you, is the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, Marinette. And we are back in action here. The start of the fourth quarter. 42-6, Little Chute with the lead. In motion, Weisgerber, direct snap to the quarterback, Luke Johnson. He takes it himself off the right side. Couple yards. See where they mark it. We'll give them 2. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Marines from the 40-yard line. They trail 42-6.
The Marines kind of shuffling in some ball players with the play now.
11 minutes, 26 seconds left in the ball game. 2nd down and 8. Hey, Webb split left. Here's the snap. Johnson back, fires another fade off the left side. There's Webb. He dives and he catches it, kid. Wow, what a catch.
Yeah, right on our side in front of us here. We couldn't see his catch before and the touchdown that he had. This one we got a view of it. I was thinking when that play with Webb, he was split out to the left to the near side here, and it was just your straight go pattern. And what a one-headed grab by Jonte Webb. And I said before, he's good for usually a couple of highlight reel catches every game, it seems like, of late.
Beautiful 28-yard catch there. Jonte Webb with a big play. Marinette into Little Chute territory at the 32-yard line. Another mishap in the backfield.
Yeah, all the way back to the 45-yard line, and you're right, a mishap. That snap just went between the quarterback and the tailback who were back there, and didn't hit either one of them, and be a huge loss.
All the good vibes we had off that great catch kind of went away there on the.
Yeah, when you lose about 15 yards and
the mistake.
I feel sorry for the player who fell on it because it's got about a 15-yard loss.
Marinette, 2nd down and 22 now. From the 45-yard line. Johnson back. They set up a screen to Jagelski, but it's sniffed out by the Little Chute Mustangs. Marinette let all the defenders in, hoping they could just dump the pass over the top of them, but they weren't fooled, and they stopped him almost immediately.
Right. A couple of the linemen were coming in, like you said, by design, the Marines letting them come towards the quarterback, setting up that screen pass, but the linebackers did stay home, and they got James stopped in his tracks.
9 minutes, 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That brings up a long 3rd down for Marinette.
Maybe throw it up for 85 again, why not?
I think that might be what you want to do. Johnson back. He looks deep, he fires, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 26-yard line. Little Chute will take over at the 26-yard line.
That's the third turnover of the night for Marinette. A couple of fumbles very early in the game, and their first turnover since the first quarter, an interception by Luke Johnson.
Luke Johnson fired that one. It looked like maybe one of the receivers fell down on that play.
Yeah, I think you're right. So something didn't look right there on that pass pattern.
So Little Chute takes over at the 27-yard line. First down and 10. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left in the ball game. They spread out, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They're traveling left to right. Here's the snap. Nice handoff there. They get it quickly to Charlie Hippis, and Charlie Hippis goes all the way down the sidelines to the 30-yard line of Marinette.
They come at you in waves, not the Mustangs, but the last name Hippis.
Charlie Hippis.
It's the first time you've called his name tonight. His first carry of the night, I do believe, and what is that, about a
42?
I'm going to say 40-some yards on the carry.
Charlie Hippis went straight up the gut, bounced it out to the left side, and picked up a huge chunk of yardage. First down and 10. Little Chute at the 33. Here's the snap. Charlie Hippis again. This time he's met in the hole. He's still fighting, but they bring him down. No gain on that carry. Hippis coming from everywhere right now.
And Charlie's average was cut in half on that carry.
7 minutes, 20 seconds left in the ball game. Little Chute 42, Marinette 6. The Mustangs split out. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. We have a new quarterback for the Mustangs in. He hands off to Charlie Hippis. Again, nothing doing there. The new quarterback is Connor Mara, and he's a sophomore. He takes over for Devin Plate. Devin Plate gets a well-deserved rest.
What a night he had. 4 touchdown passes, and he had to be close to 200 yards passing.
235 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, wow. 10 of 11.
That's almost perfection right there.
Third down and 10 for the Mustangs. Mara gets it. He hands it off to Charlie Hippis. Hippis hit. He tries to make something happen, goes backwards, and lost quite a few yards. Looks like he might have lost 4 yards on that carry. Kevin Canine again with the big play.
Yeah, Kevin's been in on a lot of tackles here tonight.
6 minutes left in the ball game. Little Chute 42, Marinette 6. Fourth down and 18. Connor Mara into the game at quarterback for the Mustangs. Split to the right. Troy DeBruin. They hand it off to Charlie Hippis. He has some room. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Now the Marines take over on downs here, and the clock kind of melts away here with 5.5 minutes to go in the contest. And back here at Higley Stadium next Friday, 2 in a row. Got Wrightstown coming to town, and keep in mind Wrightstown already beat Little Chute. I think it was like 25-21.
That's what it was
last week. So obviously Wrightstown, state ranked, doesn't get any easier for Marinette.
Running the gauntlet, as they say.
Yeah, the first 4 games of the season, just a killer schedule. But it's there for you. You got to play them.
4 minutes, 55 seconds left in the ball game. Little Chute 42, Marinette 6. First down and 10, their own 33-yard line. Marinette with the ball. It looks like the Mustangs were drawn offsides.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're drawn offsides, but they were in the neutral zone. An encroachment on the Mustangs.
So that'll give Marinette a first down and 5 now. From the 38-yard line, their own 38-yard line.
3 penalties for 20 yards on Little Chute.
4 minutes, 22 seconds left in the ball game. First and 5. They're in tight in the wing tee. Nobody split out. Snap goes to Jagelski, goes up the middle. He might have got 2 yards on that carry. They've done a good job bottling him up tonight.
Yeah, James, in the first 2 games, he had touchdown runs in excess of 60 yards, both against Fox Valley Lutheran and against Menominee. But here tonight, like you said, I think his longest run, what about maybe 4 or 5 yards?
That's it. He has 11 total yards on 7 carries.
Yeah, that's bottling up a runner, that's for sure.
Matt Eldridge in the game for the Marines at quarterback. We have a whistle on the snap. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left.
A procedure call against the Marines, and
that'll drive them back.
I got Marinette 6 penalties for 47 yards.
3 minutes, 5 seconds left in the ball game. Second down and 8 from their own 35-yard line. (42-6), Little Chute with the lead. Here's the snap. Right up the gut they go, and they got the first down. Nice play there. Beautiful play right up the middle. Adam Wall that time with the carry. Nice pickup there for the Marines. Picked up 8 big yards. Marinette, first down at the 45-yard line. Their own 45-yard line. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left. The snap was dropped, hit the ground, and Eldridge gets on top of it. Marinette retains possession.
That's happened a few times here tonight, and that time I think Matt was just trying to make the handoff before he had the ball, and fortunately he did fall on it.
That drives them back to the 41-yard line. Second down and 14 for the Marines. The clock keeps ticking. 1 minute, 49 seconds left. Fourth quarter. But you know what? Randy still has a smile on his face, so you got to like that.
Exactly. I think Randy always has a smile on his face.
Giving high fives to the fans.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the snap. Eldridge back, fires, and he fires it high. Incomplete. That's his first pass attempt tonight. Falls incomplete. That'll bring up third down and 14.
Not getting a whole lot of updates from other games because there's not a whole lot of other games in the area. A lot of teams played last night. The M&O conference teams were, a lot of them won big last night, playing Crivets, Coleman, Wasaki. Well, Peshtigo lost a tough one in Northern Elite by 1 point, but 21-20. But back to Friday Night Lights next Friday.
55 seconds left in the game. Here's the snap. Right up the middle they go. Powering his way forward. Adam Wall again, another nice run.
Yeah, back-to-back nice runs by Wall. Yeah, fourth down, but the Marines will get one more playoff here as the clock continues to roll with under 35 seconds to go now.
Eldridge gets the call. Up to the line they go. 20 seconds left. Matt Eldridge drops back, looks right, fires deep. At the sideline, out of bounds. Close, but it was covered well by the Mustangs. 8 seconds left, and that's going to do it. The final score here at Higley Stadium in the home opener. Little Chute, 42. Marinette, 6. Kit and I will take a break, tally up some stats, and be back on WMAM Sports Radio 570.
Peshtigo National Bank, your locally owned independent community bank, supports all local high school sports. Since opening in 1901, they've grown to 5 locations in Peshtigo, Coleman, Oconto Falls, Gillett, and Marinette. Hometown banking with your neighbors and friends. Peshtigo National Bank has proudly served the community for over 100 years. Locally owned community banks support and help fund local projects. Keep your banking local and speak with a representative today. Good luck to all area high school teams from Peshtigo National Bank, member FDIC.
Here at PCM Credit Union, we are one of the few employee-based credit unions left in Wisconsin that provides a unique club-like atmosphere for its membership. We serve the employees of select companies and their families. We choose to remain this way so that we can do more and provide more financial options for our members' owners. We're now located right in your community. Come visit us at 1740 Stevenson Street in Marinette to find out the benefits you could receive by becoming a member owner of PCMCU. Or to learn how you may join, visit PCMCU.com. We're people caring more, investing in you, growing together. Membership eligibility required. Equal housing opportunity, member NCUA.
Go west on 180 at the holiday to save on cars and trucks every day. You're sure to save a bundle when you take that drive west on 180 to the riverside. You get to the roundabout, make sure you yield. Don't go straight cause it's all cornfields. Just turn left when you see that sign. Come on in to the riverside. We'll find what you're looking for. Just show up at our front door. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram trucks. No overhead seats, you big bucks. Come take a ride. If you dare, out with the cows in the country air. You save big money on your next ride when you see your friends at Riverside. From the West Street 64 until you get to our front door in Marinette. You're sure to save money when you take that drive. One way or another, get to Riverside. One way or another, get to Riverside.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Marinette Marines fall in their home opener, 42-7 to the Little Chute Mustangs.
Or 6, actually.
42-6, that's right. I stand corrected. Right now, we'll go through some stats. In the first quarter, scoring summary. The scoring started at 9:30 of the first quarter. Little Chute with a 4-yard touchdown run. Nate Bevers, the extra point was good. The score was 7-0. At 5:36 of the first quarter, they scored again. An 11-yard touchdown run, again by Nate Bevers. The extra point was good, and that brought us to 14-0. With 12 seconds left in the first quarter, we had a big play by Kyle Hippis, which we'd find out later that would be happening all night long. But the first one was a 36-yard touchdown reception from Devin Plate to Kyle Hippis. And that's where we stood at the end of one quarter. It was 21-0. The second quarter scoring, the Mustangs struck first at 6:22 of the second quarter. A 32-yard touchdown pass from Devin Plate to Kyle Hippis. The extra point was good. The score was now 28-0. Right at the end of the first half, with 45 seconds left, Devin Plate and Kyle Hippis struck again. A 58-yard touchdown pass right at the end of the first half. That brought us to the score 35-0 at halftime. In the third quarter, Marinette struck first in the second half at the 4:50 mark. 15-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb. The extra point was no good. It was blocked. The score was 35-6 at that point. Little Chute struck at 2:18 of the third quarter. A 56-yard touchdown pass from Devin Plate to Parker Glaudman. Extra point was good, and the score was 42-6. And that was where it ended because there was no scoring in the fourth quarter. So at the end of the game, it was 42-6. Little Chute with the win over Marinette.
And with that running clock, things went very fast in the second half where after Webb caught that touchdown pass, the Marines stopped the running clock briefly. But then on the ensuing drive, the Mustangs got it right back as they, like you said, hit pay dirt again and got the running clock going again. Made for a very fast, not only second half, but especially the fourth quarter. And boy, just too much. In particular, the quarterback, Devin Plate, he had a night for the Mustangs. Wow.
He had an amazing night. We'll hear about that coming up shortly, what he did passing. For the Marines, they had 54 yards rushing, 147 yards passing, for a total of 201 yards offensively. James Jagelski had 11 yards on 7 carries. Dalton Weisgerber had 13 yards on 2 carries. Luke Johnson, 13 yards on 7 carries. And Adam Wall actually led the team with 17 yards on 2 carries. He had those 2 nice runs right at the end of the game.
And that kind of tells you just how the Mustangs put the clamps on the Marines rushing game when you have a backup come in the fourth quarter, get 2 carries in the final 90 seconds, and he ends up leading the team in rushing. That tells you the job that Little Chute did defensively, especially in the ground game.
Yeah, you're not going to come out on top too often when that happens.
If ever.
Luke Johnson, passing-wise, was 11 of 21, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jonte Webb, 4 catches, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Nathan Paris actually led the team in receiving yards tonight, 2 catches, 65 yards. Connor Nelson had 3 catches for 15 yards. Spencer Hipke had 1 catch for 16 yards. For the victorious Little Chute Mustangs tonight, leading the way on the ground, actually it was another person who came in late in the game, led his team on the ground, Charlie Hippis. 5 carries, 47 yards. He had that big one late in the game up the left side. He ended up leading the team. Nate Bevers had 36 yards, 9 carries, but he had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
He was very efficient. I mean, he like you said, he had those 2 touchdowns.
Devin Plate, the quarterback, 4 carries, 21 yards. Eric Hippis had 5 carries, 22 yards, and Kyle Hippis, 1 carry for 5 yards. Devin Plate, passing, was 10 of 11, 235 yards, and 4 touchdowns tonight.
Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. I mean, that's playing the quarterback position as well as you can possibly play it right there.
Kyle Hippis, the good news is he only had 3 catches. The bad news is all 3 were for touchdowns, and all 3 were from further out than 30 yards. So 3 big catches, 3 big touchdowns for Kyle Hippis. Parker Glaudman had 4 catches for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. Corey Diedrich had 2 catches for 19 yards. Little Chute had 135 yards rushing, 235 yards passing, for a total of 370 yards. And that's how the game ended, 42-6.
And a few other stats here unofficially. First downs, Little Chute with 9, Marinette with 7, and penalties. Marinette was penalized unofficially 6 times for 47 yards, and Little Chute had 3 infractions for 20 yards. Turnovers, Marinette with 3, a couple of fumbles, and also the interception you mentioned that Luke threw, and then 1 fumble by the Mustangs, so that was their only turnover. And the 2 fumbles by Marinette both occurred in the first quarter, their first 2 possessions, and that, well, just set the tone for the entire night. I think Coach Walters is going to make his way up here, and we're going to talk to him in just a little bit about that. But that's really where the tone was set here tonight, and against a quality team, you can't be doing that.
You cannot. Tonight's post-game show was brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you, is the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, and Marinette. And right now, Kit is going to have a conversation with head coach Andy Walters and another visitor in the booth.
All right. All right, Andy. Hey, thanks for joining us here in the postgame show. And we were just talking that your team had 3 turnovers and 2 right out of the gate, and against a quality team, that puts you behind the 8 ball, just killers, like you said.
That just sets the tone for the game and sets a little momentum. And against a team like this, that's probably the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, and here they won the toss but deferred, and then they end up getting the ball back just a few plays later, nonetheless, because of that. I think they run that kind of like a read option, and their quarterback, Eric just went through his numbers, unofficially 10 out of 11, 235 yards and 4 touchdowns. It doesn't get much better than that.
Well, yeah. We, for the past mistakes that we're getting, we try to simplify this week. And unfortunately, we had a tough time stopping the runs. We had to do some things in the box with some blitzing and things like that left our receiver or our defensive backs in man-to-man coverage, and their guys are pretty dang good. They got some pretty good receivers out there, and our blitzes weren't really hitting home, and he was able to still have time, and our guys, just couldn't stay with them.
Was it kind of one of those deals where you kind of pick your poison because they only had 135 yards unofficially on the ground, so you did a relatively good job there?
Yes. Well, right away we had a tough time stopping the run, so that's why we had to kind of commit some more people to the box, which left us susceptible on the perimeter there. And, they were able to hurt us, throwing the ball.
And a tough schedule to get things going here, but it's laid out in front of you when you know what it is. And you start off with actually 4 very tough games when we talk about Wrightstown coming to Higley Stadium next week. And that Wrightstown team actually beat this little Chute team just a week ago, so that doesn't get any easier. I know you had a rather long talk with your team on the field afterwards. And a third of the way through the season, I know it's tough when you go to 0-3, but it seemed to be okay right now as far as the state goes.
Yeah, but we're just talking about that. We have a tough schedule at the beginning here, and we got to hold our water. And right now, I just think we got to do a better job of coaching our kids. Right now we're not doing things the way we need to do them, and that can't be on kids. That's on us as coaches. We have to sit down as a staff and really figure out what it is that we have to do to get our kids better, whether that's switching some kids in some positions, trying kids at different positions, just as far as our practice structure, what we do, what we work on, scheme-wise, simplify. Now, we're going to sit down this weekend and really look at things and, find out what we can do better on our end to make sure that our kids start playing better football.
And Coach Walters, I know one of your concerns heading into this game was a lot of players going 2 ways.
Yes.
Do you see that changing a little bit? See anybody stepping up?
We did. Actually, a lot of different kids got in the game tonight to play. So, again, it's kind of tough when you're on the field to see, the whole big picture. But we'll see on film, who did what. I know Max Treese stepped out there tonight for us, and I know he did a pretty good job defensively. And, Weisgerber on offense, and I know for sure there's a couple other kids too. So
now I want to mention Kevin Kanine's been playing very well. He was in on a lot of tackles.
Yes, he was.
Man.
Yep. And again, he's a first-year player. He's a first-year player, and he's going to just get better and better as the season goes along. But he's a good athlete. Once he figures things out, he's going to be pretty dang good.
Yeah, and one player I want to mention here who seems to have a highlight play or two every game is John T. Webb. The catch he made on the far side, going towards the end zone by the scoreboard, it was away from us. We had a hard time telling if he caught it, but obviously he did. Then he made a circus catch later in the second half, right in front of your bench here. Wow, he's tough.
Yes, he is. He's. I can't say enough about John T. Not only is he a great football player, but even how good of a football player is, he's even a better kid off the field.
And Eric had a chance to interview him for our halftime show this week, and just listening to that interview, he seems like he's one of the real team leaders, and especially when times are tough, you got to have those leaders who keep the young guys up.
You bet. And we talked about it a little bit, about that at halftime as far as our leader kids keeping their composure on the field right now, because the rest of the team is going to feed off that. We want to make sure that we're picking kids up and trying to stay as positive as we can, but at the same time, we got to hold each other accountable a little bit too. But let's not. We're not here to tear people down. We're trying to get better, and the job of our team leaders is to find ways to help those kids perform and get better.
Alrighty. Well, we'll talk more about Wrightstown when Eric chats with you during the week, so we'll worry about them later. But I guess enjoy the 3-day weekend the best you can. It's Labor Day weekend, so don't spend all the time in the film room, okay?
A lot of work to do, kid. A lot of work.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Coach Andy Walters of the Marinette Marines, and again, the Marines fall to the Mustangs here tonight at Higley Stadium in the home opener, 42-6, the final. But as Coach Walters made a good point with trying to keep the composure, and that's where those veterans come into play. And you got to just, like Coach just said, kind of weather the storm, hold the water, as it were, and try to keep this thing going and move on to better days.
That's exactly right, and you have to look at it that way. And you can, even after a hard game like that, he came up here and he still had a good attitude about it, and he understands that they're young, and it's still a teaching experience. And it's nice that he has that attitude, and he's not so upset that he forgets that they're still young kids that need to be taught. Like he said, Kevin Kanine, first-year player. he's still learning the game, and he had a great game tonight, but he's still learning, as a lot of the Marines are. So it's nice that the coach looks at it that way as they move forward in the season.
And when a coach comes up here with his young son, that kind of puts things in perspective.
Exactly. As soon as I saw his young son, you get a smile on your face right away.
Yeah, exactly.
I did just get an update from the Menominee Maroons game. Antigo was actually giving them a big game. At halftime, they were leading the Maroons 21-20. But at the end of 3, Menominee, behind Nathan Nowak, he had a big third quarter. Menominee leads 35-21 right now at the end of 3 against Antigo. So Menominee in a game, but they're starting to pull away, it looks like.
That's what it sounds like. Okay, well, again, we're back here next Friday, back in the, hopefully it'll be friendly confines of Higley Stadium.
Exactly right. So that'll do it for here. The Marinette Marines fall to the Little Chute Mustangs tonight in their home opener, 42-6. Like Kit said, we'll be back here next week Friday as Marinette takes on Wrightstown. For Kit Donaldson, I'm Eric Bergstrom. Thanks for listening and have a great night.
Marinette Marines High School sports broadcasts are brought to you by North Honda Motorsports, Bayshore Credit Union, Riverside Auto, Tri-City Physical Therapy, Menominee County Federal Credit Union, Prestige Auto Body, Peshtigo National Bank, Dexter's, Kane Chevrolet Buick GMC, Bayside Motorsports, and PCM Credit Union.